Well, a huge night ahead of us tonight on Talksport as the drama continues. The group stages draw to a close across European competition. We'll have every nail-biting moment covered as Rangers go in search of a place in the knockout stages. A win would definitely take them through. Draw would take them through, maybe first, maybe second, and defeat could take them through or maybe put them out. So get yourself buckled up for a roller coaster ride.
Plays it into Aribo. He pulls it through the 6-yard box. Roof is there, and he nudges it beyond the goalkeeper. And now you can light the blue touch paper. All roads lead to Seville and the Europa League final. It is a night which Rangers fans will talk about for many, many years.
I'm sure they'll have the majority of the ball in front of their own fans. They'll be turning up, the fans will be turning up expecting to go and take the game to Rangers.
We come here with ambition. It's an interesting game. It's a game also where Rangers have nothing to lose.
Drives it low across the face of goal, and Rangers have taken the lead. And yet again, it is James Tavernier. Into the area, Isco's in space, goalkeeper's drawn, goalkeeper's beaten, and Isco scores.
Make us dream. One more time, Rangers. Make us dream.
And they have been dreaming and dreaming. Last season, Rangers reached the Champions League, but for 3 straight years before that, they at least reached the Europa League knockout stages. They included in there a final in May of last year. So the pressure is on for the Giants from Glasgow. We'll have every moment of their trip to Andalusia live right here on Talksport as the group stages in this season's European competitions draw to a close. It's Real Betis versus Rangers. The Scots won 1-0 at Ibrox, but Betis haven't lost at home in their last 14 Europa League games. A huge evening ahead and a difficult task for Rangers. I'm Hugh Wisencroft. Grab your popcorn. Team News is in. Good evening to your commentator, Alex Crook.
Very good evening, Hugh, on a night when calculators are at the ready and the word permutations will be banded around like confetti at a wedding. A very difficult assignment for Rangers has been made even harder by the fact Danilo, Tom Lawrence, Todd Campbell and Leon Balogun are all sidelined. The visitors make 4 changes in total, including both centre-halves, with Connor Goldson and Ben Davies coming into the team. Ross McCausland, the 20-year-old Northern Irishman, and Sam Lammers are the other 2 players who come into the 11. It's Butland in goal, a back 4 of Tavernier, Goldson, Davis and Barisic, Lundstrom and Cifuentes in front of them, with McCausland, Lammers and Abdullah Sima in behind Cyril Dessers up front. As for Real Betis, well, they make 6 changes from the side that held Real Madrid to a 1-1 draw at the weekend. The former Newcastle and Leicester City forward Jose Perez is amongst their starters. So too the ex-Arsenal fullback Hector Bellerin. Rui Silva is the goalkeeper. A back 4 of Bellerin, Petzela, William Carvalho and Miranda. Guardado, the veteran, alongside the Leeds loanee Mark Rocker, will hold in midfield, with Perez, Isco and João in behind. Iglesias leading the line up front.
Alex, thank you very much. Some games already underway in the Europa League. Liverpool already confirmed as group winners. A much changed side, and it's not going their way. Ian Danter.
Not at all. Union Saint-Gilloise has 3, Liverpool 1 now, and Cameron Puertas has just scored his 2nd and Union's 3rd in the 62nd minute. They won the ball quite high up the field. Union on Liverpool's left-hand side. Lazare played the ball along the 18-yard line, and Puertas running onto the ball fired it low, hard and true past Kelleher into the bottom corner. Liverpool had made a couple of changes to their much-changed 11 at half-time, bringing on Gravenberch and Gomez. They're also about to bring on Darwin Nunez to try and effect change, but they've got 2 goals to make up here. 62 gone. Union SG 3, Liverpool 1.
Going a little bit better for Aston Villa, who are looking to finish their Conference League group as leaders. There's been a goal. Jeff Peters.
Yes, it's Zrinski 0, Villa 1. Nicolo Zaniolo has scored his first ever goal in the Claret and Blue. McGinn on a substitute, cross from the left-hand side. Lovely just first touch from Zaniolo, then steered it past the goalkeeper. They are heading directly, it would seem, into the round of 16 in this competition. Zrinski 0, Villa 1, 62 minutes played.
Okay, lots for us to keep an eye on this evening. Alex Crook absolutely right. Permutations is going to be the key word. Other teams also in action tonight. Brighton and West Ham, they're already through, but they could end up topping their Europa League groups later. Aberdeen playing at the moment. They are out of the Conference League, but they lead Eintracht Frankfurt by a 1-0. 65 minutes played on that one. But of course, our focus here firmly on our live game, Real Betis versus Rangers. Let's discuss the team news with the former England and West Ham striker, Dean Ashton. Good evening, Dean.
Good evening, Hugh.
Oh, let's start with Rangers. They need to come here. They need to put a good show in. They want to take the victory, of course. Not an easy task, and it hasn't been helped by the number of injuries they've got. The latest, we didn't really expect it, but it's the case. Leon Balogun out amongst a host of other names.
Yeah, obviously it's not ideal. Obviously Cantwell as well would surely have started in behind Dessers this evening. Look, they can take huge confidence from the fact that they've beaten Real Betis already in this competition. It was one of their better performances as well, Rangers at home to the Spanish side, but they're up against, I know they've made changes, but they're up against a team that have drawn with Real Madrid at the weekend, that are doing very well in La Liga, and you talked about it. I mean, the home record in European competition is outstanding, and that's going to be the big test. But what Rangers have done over recent seasons is they have stood up to big challenges, big amounts of pressure, and they've delivered. And there's players in this team that have been part of that.
Absolutely, they have. You mentioned Todd Cantwell there. Just to let you know what Philippe Clement, the Rangers boss, has said earlier this week. He said Todd isn't here because of personal circumstances. He wants to keep it personal, so we respect that. The positive thing to say about it is that it's not something between him or the club or me and him. It is a family-wise thing. So we wish Todd Cantwell well. Hope to see him back out there for Rangers very, very soon. But he is a big miss for them. He brings some creativity and some energy towards that forward line.
He does. He's one of those players, Hugh. When I retired and looked at maybe doing my coaching badges, I went into Norwich and I saw a player, and within 5 minutes you could tell this kid was going to be a pro, a very, very good one. And I thought that he would go to the very, very top. He was so talented, and he is so talented when his head's right, and that's been his issue, I think, since that season that he was brilliant in the Premier League. I don't think he's quite kicked on as well as I thought he would do. He's still a big miss, though, because when he's at his best, he's so creative. He can produce things out of nothing, and he will still be missed by this Rangers team.
OK, we'll come back to analyse what Real Betis might offer this evening, but there has been a wicket in the cricket. England looking to come from one behind. Only the second match of their 5-game series out in the West Indies. They're playing Grenada, and there's been a wicket. Andrew McKenna.
Yep, they've taken 2 wickets with the last 2 balls of the innings. So the West Indies innings is over. Their 20 overs has seen them put 176 for 7 on the board. Brandon King has finished 82 not out from 52 balls. The opener has carried his bat, but they managed to get rid of Andre Russell and Jason Holder with the last 2 balls of the innings. Not before Andre Russell had played one of the most incredible shots I've ever seen, almost falling over to the offside, completely off balance. He still managed to smash the ball from Tamar Mills over extra cover for 6. You will be seeing that on social media. I have absolutely no doubt of that for days to come. Some of the England bowlers went well. 2 wickets apiece for Mills and Rashid. Sam Curran found it hard work, though. He only sent down 12 deliveries and he went for 38 runs in that. So England need 177 to win this game and level up the series. That's 8.9 and over. There's exclusive commentary of that over on Talksport 2. The England reply will start short.
Absolute party atmosphere. Andrew, thank you very much. Let's head back to Dean Ashton ahead of Rangers' trip to Real Betis. The Betis team is given a big boost. William Carvalho, 80-cap Portugal midfielder, a surprise return this evening from a hamstring problem. They are missing a lot of key players, Betis. Midfielder Nabil Fekir's on the sideline, a lengthy period as well after a cruciate ligament injury. The former Manchester City keeper Claudio Bravo's out, a former Barcelona defender Marc Bartra, and the young winger Henrique, who's also missed training. Senegal defender Youssouf Sababli also out at the moment. What do you make of the side that they've got this evening?
Well, in this competition anyway, they've rotated and they've given players opportunities. 18-year-old Diao this evening again given an opportunity.
Iglesias has swapped roles at times with Jose, and Perez has been in and out of this team when they've played in this competition. It's just, will William Carvalho play as a centre-back, or will it be Roca? I would expect William Carvalho to play there, as he has done many times, but it could be Roca as well. But there's still a huge amount of quality, and Hugh Isco's a player. I've always loved watching him. It seems like he's had a sort of new lease of life at Real Betis, and again, another player, when he's at his best, you'd pay good money to watch him.
Absolutely, the Isco renaissance in full flow in Seville, and we will be looking out for him tonight. All the Rangers defenders will certainly have to do that and be on their game if they're to take a victory away from Real Betis tonight. They don't necessarily have to do that, but of course that will guarantee them a place in the last 16. So lots still to play for, lots for us to get through tonight as well. And let's go back to Ian Danta, because there's been a boost for Liverpool. They were 2 goals down, they're now 1 goal down. Tell us more.
And that's because Union Saint-Gilloise' third goal has been ruled out, Hugh, by VAR. 69 gone, so it's 2-1 to the Belgian side. Jean-Thierry Lazare, the midfielder, was adjudged to have handled the ball in the build-up to that third goal, although they've just gone narrowly close of getting a third again, as Nielsen, the big striker, got his head to a cross from the left-hand side, but has planted it about a yard wide of Kelleher's left-hand post, and Kelleher had to be bright at his near post to stop a cross from Amori finding its way through to a Belgian teammate. Liverpool still under pressure for large portions of this match. It doesn't matter in the context of the group. They're going through as winners, but these young Liverpool players are having a stern examination against Union SG. 20 minutes to go, but it is only Union Saint-Gilloise 2, Liverpool 1.
Ian, thank you very much. All right, already underway in the European football tonight. More still to come from 8 o'clock. Not just our game between Rangers and Real Betis. West Ham looking to hold on to top spot in Group A. They play second place Freiburg at the London Stadium for Talksport. Is Jake Robson.
Yes, Hugh, no permutations in East London tonight. It's first v second in a winner-takes-all clash. Both West Ham and Freiburg level on 12 points at the top of Group A. The Hammers know that a draw will see them through as group winners on head-to-head after a 2-1 win in Freiburg in October. And it's 3 changes by David Moyes from the West Ham side that were quite frankly hammered at Fulham on Sunday. Mavropanos, Emerson and Alvarez come in for Zuma, Cresswell and Fornals, who are named on the bench, alongside Alphonse Areola, who returns from injury. So Fabianski's in goal. It's Soufal, Mavropanos, Aguerd and Emerson the back four. Souček, Alvarez and Ward-Prowse in midfield. Bowen again through the middle with Paquetá and Kudus out wide. For Freiburg, and Christian Streich makes 2 changes from their win at Wolfsburg on Saturday. Gulde and Salai start in place of Leinhardt and Roll. So it's Atubolo in goal, Sidia, Ginter, Gulde and Makengo at the back. Doan, Egerstein, Höfler and Grifo in midfield behind Salai and Gregoric up top. The referee is João Pinheiro of Portugal at the London Stadium. It's West Ham v Freiburg.
Liverpool hanging on at the moment against Union Saint-Gilloise. A great save, 1-on-1 by Quevin Kelleher just a few moments ago. But let's move on to the Amex next. Brighton through, but they are hoping to leapfrog Marseille at the summit of Group B. Talksport's Ian Abraham, good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, must win, Hugh, for Brighton tonight if they are to top their group and miss out on that game against Champions League dropouts. Steele is in goal. It's Hinshelwood, Dunk, Van Hecke and Igor across the back. Gilmore and Gross in front today, with Mitoma and Adringa either side of Buonanotte and João Pedro up front. As for Olympique Marseille, several names you may know. They're captained by Chancellor Mbemba, who used to be at Newcastle. Their field includes Jordan Veretout, who was once at Aston Villa. And up front, Vitinha, who was on loan at Wolves a couple of years ago, is one side of a certain Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Arsenal and Chelsea fans will have their own opinion on what he's achieved in his career. It's Brighton against Marseille here at the Amex.
Ian, thank you very much. Chelsea's women's boss Emma Hayes was named on a 3-person shortlist for FIFA's best coach yesterday. Her side hoping for European domination tonight. They host Harken in their 3rd Champions League group game, and it's an important one as well. Joshua Adu Donkor is at Stamford Bridge.
Good evening, Who. Chelsea aiming to move closer to the next stage of the Champions League and bounce back from that heavy 4-1 loss to Arsenal on Sunday in the Women's Super League. A win over top of the group Heckin tonight would send Emma Hayes' side top. Chelsea have made 5 changes from that freshet at Arsenal, with England's Lauren James dropping to the bench. Frank Kirby and Gerd Reiten start alongside Sam Kerr, who captains the side again. Chelsea versus Heckin coming late from Stamford Bridge.
Aberdeen already out of the Conference League, but they now lead Eintracht Frankfurt by 2-0. Esther Sockler with the second goal on 74 minutes. Not the season they've wanted so far, but tonight going pretty well. And listen, plenty for us to get through this evening. We'll come back to those games very, very shortly. But Real Betis versus Rangers is our live Europa League commentary tonight. Destiny is in their own hands. Kickoff coming here on Talksport at 8 p.m. And up next, we're going to discuss the news that the Premier League will have its first match refereed by a female official. We'll also hear from the Rangers head coach as the biggest night of his short tenure draws closer. Stay with us here on Kickoff.
Kickoff on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
By planting one tree per student, we can grow a forest of freshers.
With teaching experts and staff who take the time to listen, you can join a giant, welcoming community.
Studying in a town where rent's cheaper, it starts to add up, giving you more to do more.
At the University of Huddersfield, the small stuff's taken care of, meaning you can go on to big things. Search Hood Uni. UK rents compared by Save the Student 2023. Teaching experts based on sector awards. Find out more at hood.ac.uk.
Just imagine what your best Christmas ever would sound like.
Thank you for calling National Lottery. I can see you're calling about a winner today, is that correct? Yeah, I think I have. I just need to double check before I do a cartwheel. Yeah, I can confirm that you have won the top prize, 1.2 million. Oh my word! Happy Christmas! What do I do now?
You have the best Christmas ever.
I gotta have faith.
This Christmas, it could be you. The National Lottery. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
That gift went down well. Good job, you.
Fantastic!
Sounds like Sue's happy. Looks like everyone's loving their gifts. And you're able to spread the cost interest-free with Klarna. Big gifts, big reactions, smaller payments. Find Klarna at checkout this festive season. Borrowing irresponsibly may negatively impact your financial status and ability to obtain credit. Terms and conditions apply. Head to Klarna.com.
Wrapping presents. Before you try and find the end of the tape, again, take time to treat yourself at McDonald's. Introducing the Big and Cheesy, with or without bacon. 100% beef patty, delicious cheese sauce, crispy onions, even more cheese sauce, and a freshly toasted snowflake bun. Available until the 3rd of January. Served from 11 a.m, participating restaurants only, subject to availability.
Britain. This Christmas, Sky VIP is giving away over 100,000 festive experiences. It's our treat to you. From cozying up on the sofa, enjoying the Grinch and a Cadbury's treat on us, to festive days out. All just for being with Sky. 'Tis the season for making magical moments with the whole family with festive experiences on us. Discover even more festive experiences on the My Sky app. Charges may apply. 18+. Ticket applicants entered into ballot. Closing dates vary. See Sky VIP section of My Sky app for full terms.
Calling tomorrow.
Exclusive kick-by-kick commentary of Nottingham Forest versus Spurs.
Coverage from 7, kick-off 8 p.m. on Talksport.
It's going to be a really, really big test, but I feel something special in the group. I feel there is a really good dynamic. I see it the last couple of weeks. I see it growing in this dressing room. I see it on the pitch. I see several players becoming better and better, and we need to continue that story against a really good opponent.
Big night coming for Rangers here. Listen, we're going to have their game against Real Betis, and Philippe Colomb, their manager there, saying he senses something special in the group. They'll have to produce it to be the side that are unbeaten at home so far throughout the season. We will have that game for you in full from 8 o'clock here on Talksport. We'll also, of course, follow all of the other games that are currently going on in European competition with our reporters who are around the grounds. But we do need to interject with some big news, and here's big news regarding the Premier League today. The official Rebecca Welsh will become the first female referee for a Premier League fixture when she officiates Fulham's match against Burnley on the 23rd of December. Welsh is 40 years old. She only began refereeing in 2010. In January, she became the first woman to referee a men's championship game. Other good news, Sam Ellison will also take charge of a top-flight match in December, and that will make him the Premier League's first black referee for 15 years. He's going to oversee Sheffield United's match against Luton on the 26th of December. But I'm delighted to say we're joined by Nicola Wilburn-Shaw, a sport lawyer, to discuss this now. Good evening, Nicola.
Hi, Hugh. How are you?
Very well. What was your reaction to hearing this news today?
Well, I mean, it's undeniably a breakthrough moment that will earn Rebecca the accolade as a trailblazer for women in sport, particularly in football. And it's a step that's in line with the FA's plans that they set out in July for a 50% increase in referees from, quote, historically underrepresented backgrounds, unquote, by 2026. But actually, as you say, whilst this is a moment worth celebrating, and certainly we do need to see more diversity, of course we do. But actually, you know, Rebecca, she deserves this. She's earned her stripes. You touched on her history insofar as what she's done in the championship game. But, you know, she was one of the first females to ever be involved in the Premier League in a refereeing capacity when she was the fourth official for the Manchester United and Fulham game. And, you know, she's been exposed to some huge games. She refereed in the Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand this summer, as well as taking charge in the 2017 and 2020 Women's FA Cup finals at Wembley. So I hope, as I'm sure the wider women in sport movement, hope that this is unquestionably a step in the right direction and a direction that's fair, but also that we can move forwards now to a meritocracy where the best person simply gets the job, whatever that job may be. And if it happens to be a woman, so be it.
It's important, the visibility here, though. You know, I guess it's two things. Opportunity, absolutely, when it comes to Rebecca Welsh herself individually and all other female officials, but also, of course, you know, for those who aren't even dreaming about being official, you know, an official at this point in time. There might be, you know, young kids, but they watch Premier League football and they see someone out there who can inspire them. That's massively important too.
That's it. It's a huge step towards setting examples when this is something that just hasn't been on young girls' radars. You know, let's not forget, obviously, it's only been just over 50 years since we've been allowed to play football. So if you can see it, you can be it. It's that you know, old adage, and it's true. So I think she will be a fine example to young girls coming up thinking, do you know what, I think I might be able to do that. And, you know, provided you've got the right qualities, you've done the right training, then that is a path that's open to you.
As a lawyer, what do you think about the referee, the Football Association's plans that you mentioned, 50% more referees from those historically underrepresented backgrounds, that's by 2026, but also targeting an increase of 1,000 female referees, 1,000 black or Asian referees at all level of football within 3 years. You know, legally, if you like, you know, these targets some people don't like. You know, they don't think it really should be a part of our game. How do you see them?
I think that it's a step by the FA to recognise that there are issues here and it is something that needs to be addressed. But of course, you know, as you're touching on the flip side of things, you're running the risk of it simply being a quota and straying away from that meritocracy that we're talking about. And ultimately, this is something that women and minority groups are striving towards, is that actually you don't just be given a particular job just because you tick a box, but actually because you can do that job and you can do it extremely well.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us here on Kickoff. That's Nicola Wilburn-Shaw, sport lawyer, reacting to the news that Rebecca Welsh will become the Premier League's first female referee a little bit later on this month when she officiates Fulham's match against Burnley on the 23rd of December. Great news, to be honest. And as a broadcaster, amazing that you're covering a story like that in 2023. But congratulations to Rebecca and to Sam Allison too, who'll become the first black referee in the top flight for 15 years. Okay, all right, let's get an odds update next on Kickoff. All thanks to Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Okay, let me just run you through some of what has already happened this evening. And it looks like Liverpool heading towards a defeat. They've put a young side out now this evening. Of course, a raft of changes, given that they are already top of their group. They do trail Union Saint-Gilloise, the Belgians, by 2-1. Aston Villa still leading, 83 minutes on the clock. And looks like they're heading for top place in their Europa Conference League group as well. Nicolo Zaniolo with the only goal in that game. And Aberdeen 2 goals up against Eintracht Frankfurt with less than 5 minutes to go on the clock now. Of course, Eintracht Frankfurt beaten Bayern Munich by 5-1 at the weekend, but it doesn't look like they're going to be a match for Aberdeen tonight. Okay, let's look ahead to some of the games coming up, kicking off at 8 p.m. with Alex Apati of Ladbrokes. Good evening.
Good evening, mate. How you doing?
Very well. Rangers have a tough task, don't they?
Yeah, just a bit. It's a huge, probably the biggest game of the evening, isn't it? So much can happen in Group C, and it's a must-win for them. Surely they've got to assume that Sparta Prague are going to beat Aris Limassol, which puts Rangers themselves in a dangerous position. They did win the reverse fixture, though, 1-0 at Ibrox, but they are outsiders for 3 points here, though. 3-1 they are. Betis, the hosts, around even money. The draw 13-5. The pair of them, to be fair, neither have been known for their attacking prowess this season, and both have been fairly solid defensively in Europe, so I wouldn't expect goals tonight. Both teams to score is odds on at 7-10. I'd rather back the 21-20 on that outcome not landing. Under 2.5 goals for me is good value too at 19-20. Bit boring, and apologies in advance, but I do think Betis win this one, and given that Sparta are odds on to beat Limassol, I think it'll be curtains for Rangers in the Europa League.
Wow, okay, big prediction. Alex, also Brighton and West Ham playing at home this evening. 2 games that could be crackers.
Full of big predictions tonight, mate. Massive night, obviously, again for Brighton. Marseille, winner takes all. Marseille can afford to draw, Brighton can't if they want to progress automatically to the knockouts. Brighton are odds on favourites at 4-6. I'm not completely convinced by that, to be honest. It is all still very new to this Brighton team, and in comparison, Marseille are very much seasoned pros in Europe at this point, so plenty will see the value in just shy of 4-1 actually on Marseille winning, myself included there actually. Double chance market too. Marseille to win or draw is over even money at 6-5. For a team already in the driving seat in this group, I do think that's good value. And then quickly on West Ham Freiburg too. Again, the English side, the hosts, are odds on favourites to win 4-5. 4 wins from 5 for West Ham in Europe, but I've not really been convinced by them so far. Just 8 goals scored compared to the 17 Freiburg goals up to this point, which is more than any team in the Europa League this season, by the way. Freiburg 16-5 is the value bet for me, and if you do fancy Freiburg and Marseille to both upset the English apple cart, then I think that the 19-1 double is pretty generous, to be honest with you.
Okay, Alex, thank you very much for those views. Latest odds with Ladbrokes there. Play at ladbrokes.com. It's 18+, begambleaware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18+, begambleaware.org.
Don't worry, Rangers fans, I believe in you. Listen, let's update ourselves with what's going on out in Belgium. Liverpool in action. Ian Danter.
3 minutes to go of normal time. Union Saint-Gilloise 2. Liverpool 1, could have been 3-1, but VAR helped Liverpool out by denying the Belgian side a third when a handball in the build-up denied Amoura getting a third goal. And Amoura was clear again just a moment or so after and got a shot away from the edge of the box, but it was a super save by Caoimhin Kelleher, getting down to his left-hand side to tip it away for this young Liverpool side that have rarely threatened at the other end, other than Jarell Quansah's first Liverpool goal that he scored in the first half from Curtis Jones' corner. Union Saint-Gilloise won't make it through to the knockout stages of the Europa League, but they're playing such ever good stuff. They should be quite a threat in the Conference League when they go through to that in the new year. We're heading towards added time, and Liverpool are going to lose their second game in the group stage, but they will still top the group. Union Saint-Gilloise 2, Liverpool 1.
There's been a goal out in Bosnia-Herzegovina. Jeff Peters.
Yeah, it is. Zrinski 1, Villa 1, and Villa have conceded late on. It should be okay, though, because Villa just need to avoid defeat to get through into the round of 16 and not go through a playoff. It's Malikin Nosic who was hit one from outside the penalty area, and the young goalkeeper, the 20-year-old on debut for Villa, Philip Marshall, absolutely nothing that he could do about that. It was hit really well, and it's cancelled out that earlier strike by Nicolo Zaniolo. A couple of minutes of normal time remaining. It's Zrinski 1, Villa 1.
Jeff, thank you very much. Okay, we'll be back straight after this. We'll have a look at, I guess, all the British sides' performances in Europe so far this season. We'll talk Manchester United and news concerning Graham Potter too. Stay with us.
Kick-off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18+, begambleaware.org.
That gift went down well. Good job, you.
Fantastic!
Sounds like Sue's happy. Looks like everyone's loving their gifts. And you're able to spread the cost interest-free with Klarna. Big gifts, big reactions, smaller payments. Find Klarna at checkout this festive season. Borrowing irresponsibly may negatively impact your financial status and ability to obtain credit. Terms and conditions apply. Head to Klarna.com.
Wrapping presents? Before you try and find the end of the tape, again, take time to treat yourself at McDonald's. Introducing the Big and Cheesy, with or without bacon. 100% beef patty, delicious cheese sauce, crispy onions, even more cheese sauce, and a freshly toasted snowflake bun. Available until the 3rd of January. Served from 11 a.m, participating restaurants only, subject to availability.
This Christmas, get them something they really want. The new Talksport football trivia game. Put your encyclopedic football IQ on the spot with the board game the whole family can play that won't leave anyone bored. And at $19.99, even Scrooges can afford one. The Talksport football trivia game. Available now from Sports Direct, House of Fraser, Game, Amazon, Sainsbury's, Talksport.com/shop and all good toy retailers.
When you just can't get going, Barocca can help you face the lag. Formulated with 11 vitamins and minerals, including vitamins B6 and 12 to help support energy release and reduce tiredness and fatigue. Barocca, face the lag. Barocca contains vitamin C, B vitamins 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 12, and magnesium and zinc.
This Christmas, get them something they really want. The new Talksport football trivia game. Put your encyclopedic football IQ on the spot with the board game the whole family can play that won't leave anyone bored. And at $19.99, even Scrooges can afford one. The Talksport football trivia game. Available now from Sports Direct, House of Fraser, Game, Amazon, Sainsbury's, Talksport.com/shop and all good toy retailers.
In sport, what's just as important as the goals, the glory, the roar of the crowd? Yes, it's the half-time break. Time for a breather, a reset, to keep everything on track. In sports betting, Betfair's safer gambling tools help you do that too. Like timeouts, so you take that all-important half-time break. Or deposit limits, to help you keep count. Manage your play at safergambling.betfair.com. Simple ways to stay on top of your game with Betfair.
18 plus begambleaware.org. At your work Christmas do? Not feeling the canapes? Why not get a pick-me-up with McDonald's limited edition Chicken Big Mac with 2 deliciously crispy chicken patties, our iconic Big Mac sauce, and gherkins, or not. Only available until the 3rd of January. Served from 11 a.m, subject to availability.
A brand new Discovery Plus original.
I'm Vinnie Jones.
New game plan.
I'm renovating my Knapford farmyard in West Sussex.
New team.
Lead striker, Wobbly.
Let's do it.
Sweeper, Emma. Come on. In goal, Pip.
Style of play. Classic Vinnie.
Crash, bang, wallop, let's have it.
Stream the brand new series Vinnie Jones in the Country, now on Discovery Plus, or visit discoveryplus.com. T's and C's apply. Subscription required. 18 plus. Auto renews unless cancelled.
Where could your Hankook tyres take you? For beachside beverages in Bali, a sun-drenched swimming pool in St Lucia, or the whole of May in the Maldives? Visit Hankook.win and you could win daily prizes of shopping vouchers and have the chance to win a £20,000 Virgin holiday. Hankook tyres, fitted for reliability, safety and premium performance. Over 18s. T's and C's apply. See Hankook.win.
A magical Christmas with Lidl means putting on a deluxe spread that keeps even the turkey naysayers in good spirits. A stuffed sea bass or mulled wine baked gammon joint, each just $9.99. And an Olive Magazine award-winning vegan sausage and cranberry wreath for $4.99. In store now. Now that's big on quality and always Lidl on price. Subject to availability. Selected stores GB only.
At BetMGM, we know how to put on a show. So we don't just do offers. We do golden offers like this.
The Golden Boost. Profit boosts every day across football, racing, tennis, and more. Open your BetMGM app and see today's Golden Boost.
BetMGM. It's showtime.
Opt-in required. Profit boosts available on selected markets only. Max stake £5 and max win £1,000. T's and C's apply. Please gamble responsibly.
On DAB, online, and on your smart speaker. Talksport.
Talksport News.
We'll continue our build-up to our live game here on Talksport this evening in the Europa League as Rangers travel to Real Betis. Before we get there, the latest headlines with Steve Forbes.
Thanks, Hugh. Good evening. The announcement of the Premier League's first ever female referee has been described as a special moment. Rebecca Welch will take charge of Fulham against Burnley next Saturday. Mikel Arteta's avoided punishment for blasting the VAR following Arsenal's defeat to Newcastle. An independent regulatory commission found the misconduct charge to be not proven after a hearing. Leicester have received approval from the City Council to expand the King Power by 8,000 seats, and Rangers know a win is needed at Real Betis is needed to see them through to the knockout stages of the Europa League. Kickoff is at 8, right here on Talksport.
This Saturday is game day
on Talksport and Talksport 2.
Stimulate your senses with a heavy-duty payload of thrilling Premier League football.
What a goal!
2 exclusive Premier League games. All the action from around the grounds. Followed by the ultimate football phone-in.
It's in!
Game day this Saturday
on Talksport and Talksport 2.
Oh, and they've scored. And I think it looks like it's going to count as well. It's Kingsley Coman who's eventually finished this off, Adrian. It's Manchester United 0, Bayern Munich 1.
What a ball from Harry Kane. He's flicked it inside. It's absolutely sensational vision and execution. Coming into this, they conceded in the group as many goals as Celtic. Only Antwerp had conceded more. Simply not good enough from Manchester. They'd scored goals, they just conceded too many.
And Bayern Munich didn't get our second gear tonight. Everyone associated Manchester United, hang your heads in shame.
Still many things to play for. And now we can focus, of course, to be in the top 4.
They finished bottom of a group with Bayern Munich, Galatasaray and Copenhagen. That's the state of Manchester United.
You're listening to Talksport. It's a huge week for Rangers and their boss Philippe Clement. They're going to go to a Betis side unbeaten at home all season, needing a win to absolutely guarantee top spot and a place in the last 16. They'll reach the playoff round if Sparta Prague fail to beat Aris Limassol. They want to get the job done themselves, though. They're just the latest British side, we have to say, vying for a place in the knockout stages. Just to let you know, finished full-time. Aberdeen beating Eintracht Frankfurt by 2-0. That is the perfect way to warm up for the Scottish League Cup final against Rangers on Sunday evening. And the full-time whistle has gone out in Belgium as well. Looks like defeat for Liverpool. Let's get the latest from Ian Danter.
Yes, it's finished Union Saint-Gilloise 2, Liverpool 1, so a second defeat in the group stage for Liverpool, even though they topped the group, go through as winners to the round of 16. They were really throwing things forward, Liverpool, right at the end. Caoimhin Kelleher went up into the Union box for a late corner that Liverpool won. It ended up with Harvey Elliott stinging the palms of the Union goalkeeper Maurice. But the damage was done in the first half. Mohamed Amoura put Union ahead on 34 minutes, breaking clear, rounding Kelleher, who got half a glove to it but couldn't prevent Amoura smashing the ball home. Jarell Quansah, though, equalised for Liverpool. His first goal for the club 4 minutes from half-time, smashing home from a Curtis Jones corner. But within 3 minutes of that, Cameron Puertas, a low right-footed drive, beating Kelleher at his near post, made it 2-1. They thought it was 3-1 for Union in the second half, but Puertas thought he had a second. It was ruled out for handball in the build-up, and Liverpool's young side huffed and puffed for most of the evening. But it was an exercise in giving youngsters minutes, and that's exactly what Jurgen Klopp has been able to do. It's finished in Belgium. Union SG 2, Liverpool 1.
Finished out in Bosnia-Herzegovina too, as Aston Villa's players go over to applaud their travelling fans. They haven't got the win tonight, but they do finish top of the group. Jeff Peters.
They do indeed. It has finished Zrinski 1, Villa 1. So Villa get the result they need to go straight into the round of 16. They made 8 changes. They had the lion's share of possession, almost 80%, but it took a while to find some sparkle in dangerous areas. The introduction of John McGinn around the hour led to the deadlock being broken. The captain dug out across from the left, He found Nicolo Zaniolo central. The Italian international took one touch to control and then steered the ball beyond Maric, his first goal for the club. The home side levelled late on with a terrific effort from distance, but it takes little shine off what has been a successful return to Europe for Unai Emery's men. 4 victories and a draw. They go through as group winners. Full-time in Mostar, Zrinski 1, Villa 1.
It's a big evening of European football as well in the women's game. Champions League matches just finished. Bayern 1, Ajax 1. Paris FC continue their great start. Giant killers so far in the competition. They beat Real Madrid by 2-1, which makes Chelsea's game against Harken kicking off at 8 o'clock at Stamford Bridge all the bigger. Also approaching half-time in the Women's League Cup in England. Manchester United 2, Leicester City 1. Time now for us to look ahead to the latest football action with Ladbrokes. And let's go back to Dean Ashton, who's alongside Alex Crook. And we have to talk about some of the British sides this week, don't we, gentlemen? Alex, I'm sorry, we're going to have to do it. Let's talk about Manchester United. Dean, they are record breakers. Defeat at home to Bayern Munich on Tuesday night. See them finish bottom of their group. 4 points, the worst showing in the competition. And the 15 goals they conceded was more than any Premier League side before in the history of the Champions League. And there's news today that the former Brighton and Chelsea boss Graham Potter could be a contender to replace Erik ten Hag should Manchester United decide to sack the Dutchman, which may be a little bit of a way off. What did you make of their performance in Europe, and what do you make of these stories coming out surrounding Ten Hag?
Well, I think they got what they deserved in terms of the European competitions. They got themselves into good positions at times in many games and threw it away through naivety, through lack of togetherness of the side and bad decisions and poor defending. And if you know, there's one thing doing that in the Premier League, which they have done, and they've managed to get through some results, which is why they are in the position that they're in the Premier League. But when you step up another level into European football and the Champions League, you don't get away with that, whether that's against Bayern Munich or Copenhagen. And they were found wanting, and it's not a record you want to have if you're a Manchester United player or manager to have conceded that many goals in a Champions League campaign. Not helpful though, the rumours of possible new managers in Graham Potter, but it kind of sums up certainly Erik ten Hag's time at Manchester United, where pretty much anything and everything gets out into the media, and it hasn't helped him.
It's reported in the Sun, Alex, that incoming investor Sir Jim Ratcliffe has met with the former Chelsea manager Potter, favours him to be a new boss at Old Trafford if he fires Ten Hag. You can tell me how big that if is. Of course, with Anfield looming on the horizon, is there big pressure? Is there actually big pressure on Ten Hag's job?
I think there's always pressure on a Manchester United manager, particularly one who's lost half his games at all competitions this season, somebody who's overseen such a dismal run in the Champions League. And I think there is substance to those stories about Graham Potter. He's a name that's been mentioned to me by various sources in relation to Manchester United. We know he has an existing respect and admiration from Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Dave Brailsford, who's going to come in and oversee the football side of the business, as I understand it. And Dan Ashworth, of course, is a massive advocate of Graham Potter, and he's someone that we reported in the transfer notebook on the Talksport website last week that Manchester United would be keen to speak to in terms of coming in as their new sporting director. If that happens, I think you'd have to make Graham Potter the favourite if they do decide to change manager. And as you say, at the moment, that is a big if. The existing board, I think, are keen to keep faith with Ten Hag. They're keen to build something long-term because, of course, we've had a lot of managers, Manchester United, since Sir Alex Ferguson left, and many of them have had an initial upturn and initial lift, as Ten Hag did last season, and it's very quickly petered out. And I think they feel, sooner or later, they have to stick with a manager. The question that Manchester United fans will be asking, is Ten Hag the right one to stick with? I think he probably is, but I have to say my support is waning because there have been some bad decisions that he's made this season, and there have been some wretched performances.
I'd love to criticise the manager. You know me, Crookie. I would absolutely love to, but I'm sorry. The players in that changing room, for me, have to shoulder the share of the lion's share of responsibility. And if I was Sir Jim Ratcliffe, I'd be looking at overhaul ASAP. That's all I'm going to say on the topic. I'll give my support to the manager for now. Listen, let's talk about Newcastle United, Dean. They went out in the group stage, obviously a different context for their football team, massively affected by injuries in defeat to Milan at home. For so much of the game, they were ahead and looked like they were going through. In the end, Paris Saint-Germain get a point away at Dortmund. They are beaten at home and they are out of the competition. And already, the likes of Jason Cundy, I listened to him a little bit earlier on Hawksby and Jacob, and last night on Sports Bar too. He's not having Eddie Howe right now. He feels like it was an underwhelming campaign in the Champions League. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I was driving home from the Leicester game and listened to Jason last night. He was strong on on Newcastle, and I thought he made a valid point at times in terms of their naivety and the opportunity that they definitely had to still have European football and how great that would be to go into the new year, albeit in the Europa League, because they would be one of the favourites for that competition, that's for sure. But I feel so sorry actually for Howe, because the injury crisis that they've had, it's given them no real chance. And actually, I think they did well to take it as far as they did, and they're basically a decision away, a very, very poor decision away from getting through. And I feel for him, because I think if they'd have kept those players fit, I think they would have got through, because I think they are better than two of the sides in that group that they were in.
I just think when it comes to Newcastle United, yes, I totally agree with you on the injuries as well, but I think for all clubs from the Premier League, we've got such a strong top 6 or 7 in the Premier League. We're going to see Brighton tonight in Europe, for example. It takes the experience of getting to these competitions year after year after year to really go out there and be able to take a side on, like Milan, like Dortmund. Those players get there regularly, of course, Paris Saint-Germain, and cope with the adversity that comes along with those campaigns. They will learn an enormous amount from it, Newcastle United. And if they can get themselves back in the Champions League, and that's what they're going to be attempting to do once again, we will, I'm sure, see a better showing for them next time around. If not, they'll take it into the Europa League next year, and they will be one of the favourites, I'm sure. The only real question mark for me is, and it's not if Eddie Howe's going to leave that football club, you've got to support that manager for sure, but it's whether Newcastle decide to go big in the transfer market, maybe not January, but certainly next summer, whether they feel like this is a club that needs to transform itself to be alongside the elites in European football. The elites being the likes of Manchester City and Arsenal. Just very quickly on them, Crookie, are only representatives in pot 1 in the Champions League for the draw on Monday. Are we going to have a winner from those two, do you think?
Well, I think there's every chance of Manchester City in particular defending their crown. Arsenal, I think, will learn from the near miss in the Premier League last season. They look a much better all-round team to me, a more measured team. I was at all of their group home games and they won those pretty comfortably, so I think they can go deep as well. They might need to, because of course there's been a lot of talk about 5th place in the Premier League this season, maybe getting you into the Champions League. The fact that both Manchester United and Newcastle have crashed out already, they can't add any more points to the coefficient, so we could be reliant on the likes of City and Arsenal and those teams in the Europa League and the Conference League to go deep into the draw in order for the Premier League to get that extra Champions League place, because at the moment we're not going to get it. We're behind a couple of countries and there's work to be done.
Tottenham fans, get your Arsenal scarves out. Someone will lend you one, I'm sure. You've got to be cheering them all the way now. Maybe 5th place is what you need anyway. I'm jesting, of course. That was a look at this week's European football, all thanks to Labrix. It's 18+, begambleaware.org.
The Big Preview on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18+, begambleaware.org.
Spurs fans telling me they're in the title race, of course. Anyway, there's a long way to go, domestically and in Europe too, but you do have to be in it to win it. So kick-off between Rangers and Real Betis comes next.
Kick-off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18+, begambleaware.org.
By planting one tree per student, we can grow a forest of freshers.
With teaching experts and staff who take the time to listen, you can join a giant, welcoming community.
Studying in a town where rent's cheaper, it starts to add up, giving you more to do more.
At the University of Huddersfield, the small stuff's taken care of, meaning you can go on to big things. Search Hood Uni. UK rents compared by Save the Student 2023. Teaching experts based on sector awards. Find out more at hood.ac.uk.
10 one green bottle standing on a wall.
Oi, are you going to join in, Grog Bucket?
I'm wondering where the next charger is.
There's a BP Pulse charger coming up any minute, love.
Well, in that case...
And if one green bottle should accidentally fall, that'd be nice.
Nothing keeps happy you going like knowing when a BP Pulse charger is nearby. Download the BP Pulse app to keep you going. BP's here for your travel needs, mostly with petrol and diesel, but BP Pulse already has over 3,000 rapid and ultra-fast charging points.
Your attention, please. We interrupt your programming with an announcement of garlic bread gargantuan importance. From one of Bolton's funniest comedians, Peter Kay. TV Big Adventures on the small screen. Get the brand new autobiography. Out now in hardback and audiobook.
It's great if you like laughing.
Off before the blades for effortless shaving in one stroke, leaving you fresh and ready to take on your day in no time. And at Gillette, we promise you that Gillette Labs is the ultimate shave, or, I've always wanted to say this, your money back. Gillette, the best a man can get. 18 plus, retain receipt, terms and conditions apply.
This Christmas, I am Aquaman. I'm a warrior, a father, and a king of Atlantis. Experience an epic adventure. I'm gonna kill Aquaman and destroy everything he holds dear. That will turn the tide forever.
We need to find Manta. He's different now. He's stronger than before.
Jason Momoa.
Good job, little brother.
Patrick Wilson.
Do not call me brother. You know how to ride one of these? Come on!
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom in cinemas December 21. Book tickets now.
I love Christmas party food, and now Waitrose is offering 3 packs of chilled Christmas party food for the price of 2. Pick up some of those gorgeous smoked salmon eclairs, or popcorn feta with hot honey, or try paneer fries, or even those sticky beef teriyaki skewers. There are lots to choose from. It's a hard choice, and that's why your 3rd pack is on us. When the offer is this good, expect a little trouble deciding what to get. Waitrose, food to feel good about. Selected stores subject to availability. Prices may vary in Channel Islands, Little Waitrose concessions, cheapest item free, chilled items only.
Adebayo Fenway here, ambassador for Bet UK. And in case you didn't know, I'm kind of a big deal. But at Bet UK, an even bigger deal is gambling responsibly. It's important to keep yourself safe when betting. That's why you can find a range of tools on the Bet UK app and website. You can set deposit limits, schedule reality checks, and set timeouts to help you stay in control. Always gamble responsibly at Bet UK.
18 plus, please gamble responsibly.
Europa League football.
He's tapped it over the line.
Live on Talksport.
Crossing high to the far post. Oh, the goalkeeper's lost it. Lundstrom! John Lundstrom has done it. And Rangers are 10 minutes away from the Europa League final.
And it's Rangers 1, Real Betis 0, and for the first time since 1985, Rangers defeated Spanish opposition.
We have a lot of respect for them, but we come here with ambition. It's an interesting game. It's a game also where Rangers have nothing to lose.
Drives it low across the face of goal, and Rangers have taken the lead. And yet again, it is James Tavernier.
Finish Rangers 1, Aris Limassol 1, and Rangers have blown a superb opportunity to go top of Group C.
No, it's going to be a really, really big test, but I feel something special in the group.
He pulls it through the 6-yard box. Roof is there, and he nudges it beyond the goalkeeper. And now you can light the blue touch paper.
Well, Rangers manager Philippe Clement is sensing something special within his Rangers squad. Every hurdle put in front of them, every moment of adversity, they've risen to the occasion, and tonight represents just another challenge as they look to become the first side to win at the home of Real Betis all season. That win would guarantee a spot in the last 16 of the Europa League. A draw could be enough to make the playoff round. Even a defeat could see them through. It is a night to hold your nerve here on Talksport. We've got full commentary of events at the Benito Villamarin Stadium from 8 p.m. alongside Alex Crook and Dean Ashton. Dean, we were analysing people's campaigns in Europe. They beat Betis by a goal to nil, a 2-1 loss at the Cypriots Aris Limassol. They had the goalless draw in Prague against the Czech champion Sparta, who they then beat back at Ibrox. And last time out in this competition were held to a draw by Aris. 8 points from 5 games, 5 goals scored, 4 conceded, and I guess it's the 5 goals scored which may be the biggest concern for them.
And only 2 players in the starting 11 this evening have actually scored a goal in this competition. McCausland and Seema And look, they'll be kicking themselves, of course, that they didn't beat Aris Limassol at Ibrox, and it's meant that they've got to come here, which is an incredibly difficult place to come and get a result and get a victory. But I talk about, honestly, that experience that some of those players have had in big European games in the last few seasons. I think that's absolutely vital coming into a game like this, and sometimes these big games are about the management of the game. And you know, you look at players such as Tavernier, I think are going to be key this evening in terms of that experience that he's got leading the side out this evening against such a talented side.
It's going to be a very, very big evening. 67,000 fans will be roaring on Real Betis, and Rangers go into that amphitheatre looking for a victory. Remember, we got loads more live football coming for you in the next few days. Tomorrow night, Nottingham Forest against Spurs in the Premier League. Exclusively here on Saturday as well, Ipswich against Norwich at 12:30, kickoff at lunchtime around the grounds with Adrian Durham at 2:30. And then at 3 o'clock on Talksport 2, exclusively on Saturday, Fulham's trip to Newcastle. But as I mentioned, Rangers 1 foot in the knockout stages of the Europa League, and they'll want to get the deal done tonight away at a Real Betis side that, after reaching the final in 2022 for Rangers, a group stage exit would really be a huge disappointment. It could be a night of high drama awaiting in Seville in the company of the former West Ham and England striker Dean Ashton and Talksport's Alex Crook.
Thank you, Hugh. A very good evening, everybody. Just 17 months have passed since Rangers were in Seville to contest the Europa League final. They returned to the scene of their heartbreaking penalty shootout loss to Frankfurt, bidding to keep alive their participation in this season's competition. Philippe Clement, their manager, yet to taste defeat, says his injury-hit side had nothing to lose against a Betis team who held the mighty Real Madrid to a draw as recently as Saturday. Is he right, Dean Ashton?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, he's talking about the injuries and the fact that Real Betis have such a strong home record. He's saying it's almost a free hit.
He's manager of Rangers, and there's always an expectation with a football club of that size. But he'll know how difficult this is because of that home record. He talked about it in the interview before the game. But I think that's to try and take the pressure off his team, off his players, and hopefully they can relax into what is a massive game for them and a massive week.
Well, Rangers' cause has not been helped by the fact that Leon Balogun has added his name to an already inflated injury list. Balogun's absence, one of 4 changes in total from the weekend win over Dundee. Connor Goldson and Ben Davis come into the heart of defence. Ros McCausland and Sam Lammers start in midfield, so Jack Butland will be the Rangers goalkeeper. James Tavernier, their captain, part of a back four alongside Goldson, Davis and Borna Barisic, the left full-back. Lundstrom and Cifuentes in front of them, with McCausland, Lammers and Seema in behind. Dessers as the lone striker. We're intrigued to see how Real Betis will line up. They make 6 changes from the side that drew against Real Madrid at the weekend, and it is the home side who get us underway on this huge night for Rangers. The visitors all in blue, attacking from right to left, and the home side in their traditional green and white striped jerseys with white shorts and predominantly green socks. The reason we're intrigued is because somebody is going to have to play as a makeshift centre-back, given their own list of absentees. We expected it to be William Carvalho, although the official UEFA team sheet suggests that Mark Rocker, on loan from Leeds, Dean, could fill that void at the heart of defence.
Yeah, and it is him that's sat alongside Vazella. William Carvalho in a right-hand side midfield role, with Guardado sitting deep. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw that change within the game, to be honest, and Carvalho at times go into that role as he has done before, but it's Smart Rocker that starts there.
Real Betis, who have possession. Isco plays it out to his left-hand side, and Juan Miranda with a cross into the Rangers penalty area, headed away out to the far side again by Goldson, but kept alive by Jose Perez, the former Leicester and Newcastle man. You would expect the visitors from Glasgow to have to soak up some early pressure. They've won a throw down by their own corner flag. So the host line up in full. Rui Silva, the Portuguese in goal. Arsenal's old boy Hector Bellerin, part of a back four then alongside Petzela, Roca and Juan Miranda, who was so impressive for Spain's under-21s at the recent European Championships. Guardado and William Carvalho in midfield, with Perez, Isco and Giao behind Borja Iglesias up front. Of course, Real Betis managed by one Manuel Pellegrini, the former West Ham and Manchester City boss. He was in charge of Villarreal when they knocked out Rangers in the Champions League round of 16 back in 2006. Their experienced campaign of a 70-year-old Real Betis manager. We played 3 minutes on Talksport. It's 0-0. It's Rangers who have a throw over on the far side. Remember, the maths is simple. Rangers will go through in the top two with victory tonight, or if Sparta Prague, as would appear unlikely, how to win away from home in Limassol. We'll keep you updated with the goals as they go in there. And indeed at London Stadium, where West Ham take on Freiburg, needing a draw to top their Europa League group, having already secured qualification. Brighton need to beat Marseille at the Amex in order for them to go straight into the last 16. Chance for Rangers on the edge of the area. It's blazed high over the crossbar by Tavernier.
Yes, key feature of his game. He gets forward very, very well. He's constantly a threat, and he'll either go outside, and he's happy to come into a central role as well. More of a pot shot, a terrible one at that. Completely slices the shot over the top. But they're not going to sit back, Rangers. They've started with a reasonably high line with Goldson and Davies.
If he was to score tonight, Tavernier, he would go level with our own Ali McCoist with 21 European goals for Rangers. He was the captain of the side that played Frankfurt in that Europa League final a couple of seasons ago. Not too far from here. The temperatures for the travelling Rangers fans much cooler than they were that night. I remember sweltering alongside Jim White, watching Aaron Ramsey missing the shootout. Rangers' hopes of European glory were dashed. Of course, they've lost 2 finals in this competition in its various guises. It's Real Betis who have possession with Petzela on the edge of the penalty area. 5 minutes gone. You listen to Talksport this busy European night. It is Real Betis 0, Rangers 0. Still 0-0 in Cyprus in the other game in this group. So at the moment, no change. Real Betis will top the group. Rangers will have to contest a playoff round with one of those teams dropping out of the Champions League, but I imagine that will be subject to plenty of change over the course of the evening.
Yeah, Real Betis, they're not a side that'll look to press with the players that they've got. They'll sit off to start with and let the Rangers centre-backs have it. Once it goes into midfield, that's when they look to put pressure on.
Isco with the dig towards the Rangers penalty area, headed away by Tavernier, but again Real Betis quickly back in possession with the very talented Isco, a 5 times Champions League winner at Real Madrid, and they've got plenty of green and white shirts forward in this attack. Perez into the penalty area, it might come for Isco. Half cleared by Goldson. Carvalho scoops it back out to the right hand side, and Hector Bellerin, deep cross from him to the far post, and that needed dealing with from Tavernier, and he heads it away under pressure from Borja Iglesias. Good defending from Rangers.
Yeah, they just got outnumbered, didn't they? Barisic had tucked in alongside Davis and left the gap there for Diao. Played a decent ball actually. It's just Isco couldn't quite stretch to make contact, but done the right thing, Isco, in terms of once he'd played that ball in to Perez, made sure he got himself in the box from that midfield spot.
Rangers in possession now with Ben Davis making his 50th appearance for the club. The former Liverpool man goes back to Jack Butland, the goalkeeper. This Butland's maiden European campaign, surprisingly, as Barisic looks long upfield, but it's headed clear by Roca. Perez leaves it for Carvalho. Carvalho 10 yards outside the area, shoots right-footed, and Butland spilt it momentarily. Got there ahead of Iglesias and makes the save at the second time of asking. 0-0.
Yeah, simple save in the end. know he just spilt it slightly as it skidded off the wet surface from William Carvalho. But it was a tame effort, really. He should have played Isco in, to be honest, rather than taking that on.
This gives the ball away on the edge of the Real Betis penalty area. And it's guided clear by Petzela at the expense of a Rangers throw. Rangers second in the SPL, now 5 points behind Celtic, but do have a game in hand after their recent improvement under Philippe Clement. The bad news for the visitors is that Sparta Prague have the early goal in Cyprus. Aris Limassol 0, Sparta Prague 1. As it stands, that would put Sparta Prague through in second place, and Rangers will be dropping into the Conference League. But they're on the attack here with Lammers. Cross into the area. Chance maybe for Seema. Seema with a right-footed shot. Took a deflection off Bayer, and it's behind for a corner. Just didn't strike it, Dean Ashton, with any real conviction, the Brighton loanee.
Also, he didn't get onto the ball quick enough. It was brilliant work by Lammers on the right-hand side. Clipped it over to Simic, that first touch. Almost tried to control it with his belly, and it skimmed off slightly. It took him back away from goal. He tried to turn, you're right, the strike was poor, it was scuffed. He's lucky, actually, to get a corner from it, but that was a real chance.
It is the first corner of the evening. We've played 8 minutes. Real Betis 0, Rangers 0. Tavernier with the out-swinging delivery. Up was Davis, clear to the edge of the area. Seema with a shot, and he's blocked and picked up now inside the centre circle by Cifuentes. Back to Jack Butland, all in yellow, the Rangers goalkeeper. He immediately blasts it downfield, looking for the head of Desters. It's nodded clear by Petzela. A better spell for Rangers over the last couple of minutes, having seen Real Betis dominate possession up to that point.
And it's important when they have those moments, they turn over possession and they do break, that there's a little bit more quality and composure. Seema there, it was that first touch, as it generally always is. You can get that first touch right, gives you a great chance. It skimmed off his midriff, and then it made the chance much more difficult.
Teenager João has just won a free kick on the halfway line for Real Betis, and here's Bayer in, scampering towards the penalty. A good challenge by Seema. It's going to be a corner, is it, for the home side? In fact, the referee, I think, was adjudged the last touch was off the former Arsenal man. Great tracking back, though, from Seema.
Yeah, probably the right decision, I think. As he hooked his foot round, I think it clipped off Bayerin's foot. Bayerin, who's still got plenty of that pace, but so Seema.
Still got that T-bone moustache as well, hasn't he? It's had for a number of years. The ex-Arsenal man played 239 games for the Gunners. As Dessers tries to put Petzela under pressure down by the left corner, Frankie goes back to the goalkeeper, Rui Silva. His clearance is intercepted by Tavernier, and here's McCausland now towards the penalty area. Seema with a shot, and Seema scores! Rangers lead in Seville. The travelling masses go wild, high up in the gods. Abdullah Seema with what could be a priceless goal to potentially send Rangers into the Europa League knockouts. Well, he made a hash of the first chance that came his way. He did not pass up the second opportunity. It's a brilliant right foot finish into the corner, and it is Real Betis 0, Rangers 1.
Oh, there's nothing scuffed about this strike from Seema on the swivel again. It's that bravery actually from Rangers to press high up, win the ball back high up from Tavernier, played it down the right hand side with McCausland into Dessers, whose touch is poor actually, but Seema reacts really quickly, swivels on it. It's a brilliant strike, low and right into the corner, and Rangers lead.
And Seema continues his recent purple patch, 5 goals now in his last 4 matches, and that might be the most important of his young career today. Rangers against the odds lead here against Real Betis, and as it stands, They'll be going through as group winners straight to the last 16.
Yeah, incredible. And it just shows, though, when you're a wide player, how important it is to anticipate, to make sure you're at least in there. That pass wasn't even intended to him, it was intended for Destas. He just got himself in and around the area, and when that poor touch was there, he was at least there. Fell right to him, swiveled on the penalty spot. It was a brilliant strike right into the corner, but that doesn't happen if he stood out wide watching the game. He got himself in alongside his centre forward and he got his rewards.
Here's Bayer in. Real Betis looking for an immediate response here. They trail by 1-0. Ayoze Perez makes his way towards the penalty area. Low cross across the 6-yard box. João arriving at the far post, couldn't get there. A let-off for Rangers on this nerve-jangling of European nights.
Yeah, like you said, we saw that from Miranda in the under-21s tournament. Every opportunity he gets, he'll fly down that left-hand side. It's a brilliant, brilliant cross. Butland doesn't want to go for it. Davis doesn't want to touch it towards his own goal. In the end, Barisic, I think, just does about enough.
Seamer's been dispossessed deep inside his own half by Isco. Got to say, from a neutral perspective, the early Rangers goal set the game up perfectly, because it's Real Betis in danger of dropping down now into the Conference League. So congested is it amongst the top three in this group. West Ham have taken the lead against Freiburg. Let's find out about it with Talksport's Jake Robson.
14 on the clock, it's West Ham 1, Freiburg 0. A brilliantly well-worked move that resulted with the ball being flicked over the top by one of the West Ham players, and there was Kudus who ran onto it, calmly stuck it away past Atubolu. 5th goal of the season. West Ham 1, Freiburg 0.
Here come Real Betis, and it's the equaliser. Juan Miranda arriving late into the penalty area with a fine finish into the bottom corner, across the despairing dive of Jack Butland, and within 4 minutes of falling behind, the hosts back on level terms. Only Juan Miranda's second ever European goal. It could be a big one. It is Real Betis 1, Rangers 1.
Oh, defensive errors. Look, they were given a warning only 30 seconds ago from Miranda, and how he's going to get himself forwards. He plays this ball inside to Iglesias. He follows his run. McCausland just doesn't follow him. Goldson also makes a mistake because he goes really tight to Iglesias instead of spotting the danger of Miranda. It leaves a massive, gaping gap for Miranda to step into, and I tell you what a finish this is. He just put his laces right through it. It was past Butland's legs before he could even stick one of them out, right into the corner. What a response.
In the space of 4 minutes, Rangers have gone from topping the group to dropping into the Conference League. It is going to be that kind of night on Talksport. Real Betis 1, Rangers 1. What a start we've had here, as Tavernier makes a crucial intervention to prevent Ayoze Perez latching onto a long punt upfield that would have seen him through on goal. Butler with the clearance up towards the halfway line. It was an awkward header from Sam Lammers, the Dutchman. And the ball balloons out of play for a Real Betis throw.
Look, Philippe Clement will be really frustrated. Amateur defending, not following your man, and then stepping out Goldson out of his position to be tight and not winning it, leaving that gap. He might get away with one mistake, definitely not two defensively.
Sparta Prague have got a second in Cyprus. Aris Limassol 0, Sparta Prague 2. So Rangers are going to need to win this game, barring a dramatic turn of events in that one. Otherwise, it will be Conference League football come the turn of the year. Here is Lammers, midway inside the Real Betis half. He's going tightly again to Perez, and Perez releasing João. Rangers all at sea here. João finds Iglesias with a shot. Brave header away by Davis in front of his own goalkeeper. And Sam Lammers is the most relieved man inside the stadium. 1-1.
Again, they've committed plenty of blue shirts forward because of that, you would say, bravery away from home, looking to press. Real Betis, but then if you give the ball away, very exposed at the back, 3v2. Iglesias eventually getting the ball free on the left-hand side, cutting inside, and I tell you what, it's brilliant defending from Davis, because he cuts across the side that Butland isn't, and just makes sure that he covers it and just heads it away. Really intelligent defending.
What an atmosphere inside the Estadio Bevito Villamarin. The home fans bouncing behind Butland's goal, many of them waving green and white flags. The Rangers fans who have come in their droves, they always do, making themselves heard as well. But it's Real Betis with their goal scorer Miranda, crosses into the area, Bayer in with a shot, flying save to tip it over from Butland. Excellent goalkeeping to keep the score level at 1-1 after another brilliant move from the home side.
No, they're really struggling down that left-hand side. Miranda again with a great ball. He doesn't just put it in anywhere. He gets his head up and puts a decent ball across.
Corner taken short, and the shot driven off the underside of the crossbar. Guardado so close to putting Real Betis in front. Butland was beaten, and the frame of the goal has come to Rangers' rescue. Here's Bayerin, still the green and white shirts drive forward. Carvalho crosses into the area, and it's another brilliant challenge by Davis against Iglesias to turn the ball behind.
Oh, again, it's last ditch, it's desperate defending from Rangers. Iglesias with a chance. Again, it's down that left-hand side between Goldson and Tavernier, who's been pulled out of position because of Miranda's runs. But I tell you what a sizzling strike that was from Guardado. Fully 25 yards out.
It's the underside of the bar as well.
It just arced away from Butland. He just hit it with a slight bit of outside of the foot, and it arced away from Jack Butland. Underside of the bar and away. Just hanging on at the moment, Rangers.
Playing the ball short from the back here. Wolf whistles from the home supporters, and across comes Carvalho. This was Lundstrom at the expense of a throw-in for the Scottish side. 1-1 the score. We've played 19 minutes. Rangers taking the lead against the run of play. Abdullah Sima popping out with yet another seemingly vital goal, but just 4 minutes later, Real Betis back on level terms through the left-back Miranda. Here is Dessers though, into the penalty area, scoots away from one challenge, plays it through the legs of the goalkeeper, and Rangers are back in front. Cyril Dessers with another huge goal for Philippe Clement. Once again, the Rangers fans in raptures. It is Real Betis 1, Rangers 2, and they're back on top of the group.
Wow, what a start to this game. And what a goal this is, by the way, from Cyril Dessers. Honestly, first of all, he wins the flick on from the throw-in. Then he gets the ball back from Cifuentes. He's got so much to do on that left-hand side. He cuts in as if he's going to strike it. And all three of the Real Betis defenders, especially Marc Rojo, who ends up on his backside, fall for the curling shot. He then chops it back onto his left, cuts it back onto his right, and coolly slots it through the legs of Silva. What a brilliant individual goal that is from Dessers.
Absolutely incredible. What a start we've had to this match on Talksport. 3 goals in the opening 19 minutes, and Rangers retake the lead and retake control of the group. I think there might be 1 or 2 more twists and turns to come before we're done around about 10 o'clock tonight. 2-1 they lead, and they'll hope to hold it for a little while longer than they did after Seymour had scored. Here's Lundstrom, maybe looking for a possibility to set up a third goal. The ball cleared to the halfway line and given away tamely by Tavernier. That's one area, one aspect of Rangers play that Philippe Clement, who is really animated on the touchline, won't be happy with. A number of times they've given the ball away tamely. Here's Guardado on the edge of the area, having rattled the bar a few moments ago, but Rangers back in possession with McCausland, and again they can't keep it, and then it's sloppily given away by Roca, and Rangers have a throw level with their own penalty area down the right. Real Betis 1, Rangers 2, live on Talksport. Don't forget, tomorrow night the Premier League weekend starts at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest against Tottenham. is our first commentary of the weekend. We're with Fulham at Newcastle here on Talksport 2 on Saturday for our regular 3 o'clock kickoff. Before that, over on Talksport, we have a small matter of Ipswich against Norwich in the Championship. Tavernier penalised here for a foul over on the far side.
Yeah, really interesting actually to see Philippe Clement's reaction to the goal. Sort of half celebrating, half turning around to his coaches saying, look, when we play, look what we can do. And I think that's what he wants, and you've just mentioned it there. It's when you do get the ball, keep it. Already we've seen Real Betis vulnerable when you can play through them. And that's what he wants from his side, and that's what you've got to try and do when you're away from home, is keep possession, show your quality, and 2 terrific goals.
23 minutes on the clock, Rangers in front, West Ham lead Freiburg by 1-0, also in the Europa League. Wins. A win for Brighton against Marseille would take them through in top spot to the round of 16. They're currently goalless against Marseille down at the Amex. We'll be hot-footing it to Ian Abrahams as soon as anything meaningful happens in that one earlier tonight. Liverpool beaten at Union Saint-Galois, but they still top their group in the Europa League. Villa held over in Bosnia by Zrinski, but they top their Conference League group as well. Here, Rangers in front, but it's Real Betis who have the ball just inside the visitors' half. It's chipped up towards the penalty area, but neatly controlled by Davis, and then Seema into Lammers. Lammers looking to release Seema, use his pace down this left-hand side, but the ball scoots out of play, and Real Betis have a throw right in front of the watching Manuel Pellegrini.
Well, I mean, look, they could have been 3-1 up, couldn't they, Real Betis? And they find themselves 2-1 behind. I just wonder whether Philippe Clement has looked at this, and the way they've set up the amount of blue shirts that they're pushing forward at times, it makes me think that it has to be the tactic. They have to feel as if, well, actually, maybe we can just outscore Betis if we turn it into a chaotic game. It's risky. It's working so far.
Philippe Clement unbeaten in his 12 games in charge since replacing Mick Beale at Ibrox. Rangers will face Aberdeen in the Scottish League Cup final on Sunday. Aberdeen 2-0 winners against Frankfurt earlier tonight. So perfect preparation for them for that League Cup final on the horizon. Rangers lead 2-1 here. And with Sparta Prague 2-0 up away from home against Aris Limassol, only a win will do for Rangers in terms of staying in the Europa League. Bayer in out to the right-hand side, and Isco. Isco looking for William Carvalho, but well read by Lammers, and John Lundstrom hurdles the challenge of Isco and then plays the ball into Seema on this near side, and Seema content just to let it drift out of play for a throw, having been challenged by William Carvalho, the Euro 2016 winner with Portugal.
And that was lovely composure actually from Lundstrom, much needed. Betis were on a decent attack with Isco, and then decent, calm play from the former Sheffield United man.
Throwing 4 Rangers on this near side will be taken by the Croatian Barisic. It's almost standing side by side with Manuel Pellegrini in the technical area. His throw headed on by Dessers. McCausland trying to keep it alive. Dessers has brought it down on the edge of the box. And then he's been guilty of pulling the shirt of Mark Rocker. And it's going to be a free kick for Real Betis inside their own half, as West Ham have a second goal chalked off against Freiburg. Jared Bowen thought he'd made it West Ham 2, Freiburg 0, but he was offside. Still 1-0 there. 2-1 to Rangers here in Spain, having never beaten a Spanish side on home soil in their history. What a time to put that right. Here's McCausland, the fresh-faced, blonde-haired winger for Rangers. He's been dispossessed by Jose Perez, and Perez quickly plays it over the halfway line. Betis attacking down their left. Rangers with plenty of blue shirts back behind the ball as Isco turns neatly away from trouble and away from Cifuentes. In comes the cross from the near post. Once again, João stretching every sinew, just couldn't quite get there. It was Juan Miranda, the goal scorer, wreaking havoc once again for the Rangers backline, but it remains Real Betis 1, Rangers 2.
He's been brilliant, Miranda. Really, really good down that left-hand side. Genuine quality, pretty much with every single ball that he's put in. Again, a really devilish ball across that the defenders don't want to touch. Diao, maybe he's got to react a little bit quicker. He's seen that now 2 or 3 times. Maybe he's got a dart inside Barisic.
27 minutes played. Philippe Clement issuing his instructions. Desperate for Rangers to hold on to this lead for as long as possible. Here's William Carvalho inside the Gers half of the field. Plays it out to the left-hand side for Real Betis, who continue to dominate possession, but Rangers looking very dangerous when they do come forward on the counter. McCausland on the right, Seamer on the left have used their pace to good effect so far. Isco has room to turn, dinks the ball towards Joao, but headed clear by Davis inside the D on the edge of the Rangers penalty area. Might come straight back again with the veteran Guardado. Little ball over the top looking for Miranda. They're asking for handball against Connor Goldson. The referee had a good view of it. As the ball then deflected against Iglesias and behind for a goal kick. He was looking a little nervous, Connor Goldson.
Well, it's because it did definitely hit his hand, but it got trapped between his thigh and his hand. That's how close his arm is down to his side, but it just traps between his thigh and hand for a fraction of a second as it clipped off his knee, thigh, hand, and then went away. And the referee absolutely made the right decision.
Tell you what, though, there'll be Newcastle fans watching this tonight wondering, well, if that's not a penalty.
Oh, absolutely.
How was the one in Paris given against us?
No different.
Here's Joao bursting forward. Goldson colliding with Ben Davis on the edge of the penalty area. The ball is out of play. Goldson's come off worse from that challenge. Cifuentes, actually, I think, we ran into, holding his shin. Looks lively, doesn't he? Hassan Joao, the 18-year-old, on this right-hand side for Real Betis.
Yeah, he certainly does. It's just that, I guess because he's young, it's that the intelligence of his runs yet. If he'd have made a couple of better runs, he'd have already had a couple of goals at the back post where he'd have just tapped in. He's lively, makes it look easy when he gets into his stride. That's Barisic a couple of times.
Bayern with a throw, taken short on the right-hand side. We've reached the half-hour mark. It's Real Betis 1, Rangers 2 on Talksport. As it stands, Rangers will be going through to the round of 16 in the Europa League as group winners. If they were to concede again, they would plummet all the way to 3rd place, with Sparta Prague leading Aris Limassol in Cyprus by 2-0. Elsewhere, West Ham 1, Freiburg 0. West Ham need only a draw to top their group. It's goalless between Brighton and Marseille. Brighton have to win. Miranda crosses deep into the Rangers penalty area. Wasn't a brilliant header away by Barisic. Lundstrom trying to complete the clearance, but a neat cushion pass from William Carvalho out to Bellerin on this right-hand side. Seamer's done really well. Got his body in between Bellerin and the ball. It goes out of play in the end off Hassan Joao for a Rangers throw down by the left corner flag.
Yeah, he just took a whack there, Seamer, actually. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. I just wonder whether Philippe Clement will be thinking, maybe do I switch Seamer onto the other side? He's been much better defensively than McCausland, and it's Miranda on that side that's been the biggest threat.
Which in fairness you identified as a possible issue before kick-off, having watched Miranda as I did during those under-21 European Championships, being beaten in the final by England. Tavernier to McCausland, down the Rangers right. Miranda right on cue with the interception and quickly plays it forward to Isco, seeing a lot of the ball in midfield for Real Betis. Here is Iglesias dropping to the halfway line. He's got Joao to his right. Pass is too far in front of the Spanish under-21 international, and Rangers have a throw midway inside their own half, and they lead by 2-1.
I just think sometimes with Isco, he's such a magician at times, and has been. I know he's had his difficult periods with injury and the end of his Real Madrid career. But in this sort of a game, he just slows things up a fraction because he likes to take a touch, roll his foot over the top of the ball, take another touch and then play the pass. And it's just giving Rangers enough time to get the bodies back.
Here is Cifuentes, who will be suspended for that Scottish League Cup final against Aberdeen at the weekend. Midway inside the Rangers half, Ben Davis takes over and finds Cifuentes again. He comes over the halfway line and then rolls the pass out to his right to McCausland. Here's Tavernier now well forward. Lundstrom, who's experienced his fair share of these big European nights, out the left-hand side, and Barisic trying to take on João. Well defended by the youngster. Slides in and concedes a throw.
Yeah, he made it quite obvious there, Barisic. He didn't try anything. No skill, no shimmy, just pushed it and ran, and João easily got the pace to get there and slide in and ricocheted off Barisic.
João with a flicked header from that throw from Bellerin. Well, one back by Davis. Here's Lundstrom just inside the Real Betis half. Rangers 2-1 up in Spain. It's a long raking ball forward, trying to use the pace of Seema up against Bellerin, but he's not that quick. The ball is behind for Real Betis goal kicker momentarily. There were 2 balls on the pitch. The wolf whistles from the home crowd. Long ball forward by Rui Silva, the Real Betis goalkeeper. Good interception by Tavernier, and here's Goldson now just inside his own half. Connor Goldson making his 80th European appearance for Rangers this evening. Here's Seema just outside the area, looking to play in Barisic down the left-hand side. Well, the idea was right, just not the execution. Looking for the first-time cross with Dessa's score of the second Rangers goal waiting in the centre, but he skies it high over the bar and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I hope for his sake that it took a massive bobble, because that was horrendous. As it was a decent ball out from Seema to Barisic, who'd made that overlapping run, opportunity to put a good ball in, put it behind into the stands. But they're pressing the goalkeeper, Rangers. They're pressing every time it goes to Silva. Dessa and then McCausland and Seema are backing him up as if that's where they want to press when it's then being played in to midfield aerially. And then once they get good possession, Real Betis, Rangers have then sat off.
11 minutes the first half to play. You're listening to Talksport on this crunch night for Rangers. And they're leading Real Betis away from home by 2-1. As it stands, they're going to top their group. But here's Jose Perez with space inside the area. There's a poor shot in the end, straight into the arms of Jack Butland at the near post.
Yeah, it was poor defending really from Cifuentes. Probably felt he couldn't make a challenge because Jose Perez darted into the penalty area. It happens so often. That second touch he was taking stuck right underneath his feet. He's trying to dig it out, and as soon as you do that, it just takes all the pace off the ball. It's easy for Butland.
10 minutes of the half to play. Seema raiding down the left-hand side again for Rangers. Had Barisic on the overlap. Crosses himself in towards Lammers, who got rather underneath the ball, and William Carvalho powerfully brings it clear for Real Betis. He's out on the left-hand side now with the mercurial Isco. Back to Carvalho. Rangers with everybody bar Dessers, one of their 2 goal scorers, back behind the ball. Isco up against Lundstrom. Turns out to the left-hand side. Lovely low centre of gravity, Isco. Gets it back from Miranda. They're trying to work the angles here, Real Betis, but Rangers sitting deep, making it difficult for their hosts. He's back now on the edge of the centre circle with Petzela, the central defender. Now Bellerin on the right-hand side. He's got Seema of company, so he comes back on infield for the 37-year-old Guardado. As he looked to play it out to the left-hand side to Miranda. Tavernier was there first. Asking an awful lot of Dessers, but he's chased onto the ball upfield, and he's kept possession for Rangers. He was fouled, but play will continue because they're still inside the Betis half with the ball here, Rangers. Seema looking for Cifuentes, who wasn't particularly confident as that ball was fizzed into his feet. And it's won back by Cuadrado, who tries to pick out the run of João. Cleared by Davis. Williams are coming together with him, and Iglesias has opened up a bit of space for Isco. Isco on the edge of the area, shifting one way and then the other. Perez with a shot into the corner, and the former Leicester City man equalises for Real Betis. Rangers squandering the lead for the second time in this goal-crazy first half. It is Real Betis 2, Rangers 2.
Oh, but this is where Isco is at his best. When he's in and around the area, that's when you don't mind him taking that extra touch, manipulating the ball, just dragging his studs over it 3 or 4 times, just waiting for one defender to switch off. And Rangers did. It was Tavernier on the right-hand side. Didn't get out quick enough to Jose Perez. And when the ball is just caressed across to him from Isco, this finish is absolutely outstanding. First time inside of the foot from the left-hand side of the penalty area, curling, arcing away from Butland. Absolutely no chance. It kisses the inside of the post as it goes past Butland and into the net.
Brilliant finish from Perez. Brilliant move with Isco, very much at the heart of it. Philippe Clement would have been desperate for Rangers to get to half-time with their lead intact. They couldn't. And all change again in Group C. Rangers down to 3rd place and dropping into the Conference League. Real Betis back on top of the group. 7 minutes of the first half to play. It's 2-2 in Seville.
It just feels so brutal, doesn't it? A single goal here and there to just swing the whole group around for these two sides.
Don't forget, Darts on the Radio returns tomorrow over on Talksport 2. We've got day 1 of the 2024 World Championships. Live commentary from Ali Pali at 7 o'clock. And before that, on Talksport, we've got our own World Darts Championship amongst a number of Talksport pundits and presenters. That'll be live on H&J from 1 o'clock. Jim White, the master of ceremonies, Ian Danta on commentary duty. All the fallout with Adrian Durham and Darren Bent on drive time from 4.
Brilliant. World, did you say? World Talksport Darts Championship.
We can overrate it.
I can't wait to watch that and listen to that.
It's also live on Talksport's official YouTube channel. Should be a fun afternoon. It's been a fun evening so far. For the neutral anyway, in Spain. Real Betis 2, Rangers 2. 5.5 minutes the first half to play. Rangers are going to need to score again to stay in the Europa League, because Sparta Prague are 2-0 up, remember. Away from home against Aris Limassol. Unless the Cypriots can score at least 2 goals, Rangers will have to win this game to finish in the top 2 in the group. West Ham 1, Freiburg 0. West Ham topping their group as it stands, and Brighton need a goal at home to Marseille, 0-0 at the Amex. Here's McCausland towards the penalty area. Oh, he's found Seema inside the box, and Seema's shot goes right across the face of goal and wide. Brilliant run from McCausland. And Seema so nearly applying the perfect finish. It stays 2-2.
Oh, he flicks it past William Carvalho, McCausland, and then just dissects the Betis defence into Seema, who lifts it over the top of Silva, who I thought did brilliantly to get out of his goal as quickly as he did, and it just did enough to stop Seema putting it into that far corner. I think possibly the flag might have gone up anyway. It was very, very tight, Seema's run, but brilliant from McCausland.
Once again, Rangers showing the threat they do have at the top end of the pitch. As Tavernier comes forward over halfway line into McCausland, but one back by Miranda, and here's Jose Perez now down the left-hand side. We'll be back to London Stadium shortly. There's been a second goal in that West Ham Freiburg game, but it's Rangers on the attack with Cifuentes down the right. Might get an opportunity to cross here, away from Carvalho, in towards Seema. Will it come for Dessers? Oh, it should have done. And he's claiming that there was a push in the back there from Mark Roca. All eyes on the referee. While we sort that one out here, let's very quickly get back to Jake Robson at West Ham.
Lift off at the London Stadium, 41 on the clock. It's West Ham 2, Freiburg 0, and very much like the first, it's come from a little dinked ball over the top, a 1-2 with Jared Bowen and Edson Alvarez, and the midfielder Alvarez tucks it away. West Ham 2, Freiburg 0.
Thank you very much, Jake. So West Ham looking like they'll top their group and go into the last 16 of Europa League. 2-2 here in Spain between Real Betis and Rangers. Dean Ashley, you've seen a number of replays now. Dest is appealing for a penalty. I'm not sure he had a case.
No, I think he's just overstretching, isn't he? It's a slight arm across from Roca, but not enough for a penalty. But it's Petzela who is down currently because Seema took everything when he tried to win that header. He glanced the header, it then rebounded off Beyerin's head, but at the same time he's really caught Petzela. He took a heavy fall as well.
So we're going to get a bit of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Petzela just being treated. So an opportunity for me to remind you once again of the live football coming your way over the next few days. Tomorrow night here on Talksport we have Nottingham Forest against Tottenham. Friday night football from the City Ground on Saturday 12:30 on Talksport. Dean Ashton will be amongst your commentary team for a big derby game in the Championship as high-flying Ipswich take on Norwich. Dean's former club, of course, so totally unbiased commentary, I'm sure. Of course, at 3 o'clock on Talksport, Adrian Durham will be taking you around the grounds in the Premier League, the EFL and beyond. At 3 o'clock on Talksport 2, you can listen to live and exclusive national radio commentary of Newcastle against Fulham. And on Sunday, some huge games in the Premier League, not least at Anfield, where Liverpool take on Manchester United. The Sunday session will be coming live from Merseyside with the goals as they go in up and down the country. And we've got Carabao Cup action next week as well, quarter-final matches.
I mean, what a terrific half of football this has been. You've got to commend Rangers, the way that they've attacked this Real Betis side at times and really gambled with the amount of players they've put forwards, but also Betis, they've shown real quality as well.
Of course, Betis only need a draw to top the group. Here's Miranda crossing into the penalty area, but they're not playing like a side. He'll be happy with the point. Cleared away by Rangers. Neat little turn from Lammers, and then guides the ball out to the right-hand side. Dessers has just cushioned it down for Tavernier, who strongly comes over the halfway line, but he was looking for Lundstrom. His pass was overhit, and is collected by the fleet-footed Zhao. He's away from Lundstrom, and he glides towards the Rangers penalty area. Beyerin on the overlap takes over. Only at the moment Iglesias inside the Rangers box, so Beyerin goes short for Zhao, who crosses into a dangerous position, but there just weren't enough green and white shirts forward, and Rangers get it clear now as far as the halfway line, where it's picked up on that far side by Miranda. Little dink into Perez. Perez controls it neatly on the byline and then plays it against Cifuentes, looking for a corner. Ball didn't go out. It's not clear yet either. Isco with a cross straight into the arms of Butland, and with 10 seconds of regulation time to go at the end of the first half, it's still Real Betis 2, Rangers 2 here on Talksport.
Yeah, he's still got a little bit of champagne bubbles left, doesn't he? Isco. Crowd absolutely loved that. Just plucked it out of the sky and then played a really good cross in that Diao couldn't quite reach, but
there will be a minimum of 3 added minutes at the end of the first half. Seema races onto a long ball from Butland, and looks like he's won a corner off Beyerin. Abdullah Seema, score of the opening Rangers goal, cancelled out by the left-back Miranda just 4 minutes later, before Dessers put the visitors back in front. Jose Perez equalising for the second time to give us this 2-2 score. Rangers have a corner in the first minute of stoppage time at the end of the half, their second of this first half. It will be played in by Barisic from the left, so it's going to be an outswinging delivery. Referee is just having a word with McCausland, who's planted himself right in front of the goalkeeper, Rui Silva. Grin across the face of McCausland. Finding the ball is whipped in by Barisic towards the far post. Davis heads it down, but he was clambering all over William Carvalho, or João, in fact, who's down holding his head. And it will be a free kick for Real Betis. Let's get the half-time score at London Stadium with Talksport's Jack Robson.
West Ham 2, Freiburg 0. Plain sailing so far for the Hammers, who, as it stands, will finish top of Group A with the team that they started the night level on points with. 14 minutes, it was Kudus with his 5th of the season. Brilliant ball through from Alvarez, and 3 from the break. Alvarez this time getting his first goal since joining in the summer after a neat 1-2 with Bowen. Half-time, West Ham 2, Freiburg 0.
Still goalless down at the Amex. Brighton against Marseille. That will mean that Brighton will have to go into that playoff round unless they can find a winner in the second half. Here's Isco dribbling his way towards the area. Again, his pass Miranda is just a little too heavy. It will be a goal kick for Rangers as Sparta Prague get a third against Aris Limassol. That match is rather redundant now. Sparta Prague are going to win, and that means Rangers will have to win here, Dean Ashton, to avoid dropping into the Conference League.
Yeah, I think they would have thought that anyway before the start of the game, which I think is why they've adopted the style that they have done. But will that change? Will things change in the second half? Usually when you have such an open game in the first half, at least one of the managers does something to ruin it for us.
Well, that goal has actually put Sparta Prague top of the group. Real Betis in second place as it stands, and they will be going into that playoff round against one of the teams dropping out of the Champions League. Last few seconds of the first half. In fact, there is the final whistle. Well, a half high in entertainment and certainly in drama as well. Rangers twice in front. Abdelasima opening the scoring with a brilliant finish inside 10 minutes, only for Juan Miranda, the fullback for Real Betis, to equalise 4 minutes later. Cyril Dessers restored Rangers' advantage after a fine piece of individual skill and a finish through the goalkeeper's legs on 19 minutes. But Jose Perez, the former Newcastle and Leicester City man, equalising 8 minutes before half-time. Rangers are going to need a goal and need a win in the second half if they're to stay in the Europa League. Half-time here, it is Real Betis 2, Rangers 2.
Well, what a game we've got on our hands. Before we dissect it with Dean Ashton, let's head to the Amex. Half-time whistle there. Brighton already through, hoping to leapfrog Marseille at the summit of Group B. Ian Abraham's watching for Talksport.
Brighton 0, Marseille 0. Not a great half of football, if the truth be told. The referee's whistle pretty much ruining it. Marseille close to a goal, and Klaus's deflected shot came back off the crossbar. Brighton have huffed and puffed a lot at the other end, but not really forced the Marseille keeper into a serious save. Brighton 0, Marseille 0.
So far, earlier at Liverpool beaten at Union Saint-Gilloise. They still finished top of their Europa League group. Aston Villa ensuring top spot in their Europa Conference League group. They were held to a draw by Zrinjski, and Aberdeen beat Eintracht Frankfurt 2-0 at Pataudry for their first win in the group stage in nearly 16 years. West Ham United with a healthy lead at the break, 2-0 over Freiburg. You just heard the half-time whistle, but that means West Ham will be going through as group leaders. We will also catch up with the latest in the women's European competition, the Champions League tonight. Chelsea trying to go top of their group over Häcken at Stamford Bridge. Joshua Adu-Donker is watching for Talksport.
Chelsea 0, Häcken 0. It's been a dominant first half for Chelsea. The only thing missing is the opening goal. The front three have been electric. Curtin Wrighton really impressive. Best chance fell to Erin Cuthbert, burst into the box, into the crossbar when the ball span out from a volley. Häcken hold their own in this one. At the break, it's Chelsea 0, Häcken 0.
Well, let's talk about events in Seville then. What a half of football. They were in, they were out, then they were in, now they're out. It's been a hokey-cokey half of football here on Talksport. Fantastic, full-blooded, end-to-end as Rangers battle for a place in the Europa League knockout places. 2-2 at the breakaway at Real Betis. Elsewhere, Aris Limassol 0, Sparta Prague 3 in this group. That means Rangers sit third, heading down to the Europa Conference League playoff round, unless they can do what no one else has done so far this season and beat Real Betis at home. Dean Ashton, what a half.
Oh, chaotic but brilliant. Absolutely loved it from both of the sides. I love the way that Rangers have set up, the bravery and that they've showed away from home at such a decent side with an unbelievable record. They've really gone at Real Betis when they've had the ball, and they've pressed the goalkeeper at times as well, which is just turned it into such an open game. I think everyone that has listened and watched the game, other than a Rangers fan, will have absolutely loved it, because it's just had everything.
Absolutely everything. The perfect start. That was all from Abdallah Sima. 5 goals in his last 4 games. As you mentioned on commentary, taking a gamble and it paid off.
Yeah, definitely. And both of the goals, to be honest, when they've had and won the ball back, they've looked quickly, haven't they, for the pace of Sima, for the strength and pace of Dessa, and the intelligence of his runs. And I talked about it in commentary with Sima. I just love the fact he just went and got in there. The ball was never going to get to him originally, but he just made sure he was there to be able to finish it off. And sometimes you've got to do that. Even in difficult games, you've got to try and run off the ball, extra bodies in the box, and if it falls to you, can you take it? Sima did that, and then Dessa's brilliant individual goal. They have been so open, though, Rangers, Hugh, honestly, down that left-hand side, because Isco has recognised that, and he's drifted over him, Perez, the interchange of positions and little touches here and there, and then all of a sudden Miranda goes, flashing past them, and Tavernier's all on his own. McCausland is not really doing that job defensively. Cifuentes has not come across enough. Tavernier looks so isolated. That has to change in the second half.
Yeah, lovely third-man run from Juan Miranda for the equaliser. Superb finish, I have to say. Think Gareth Bale and that hat-trick at Inter Milan. Left-footed, straight across the goalkeeper into the far corner. Superb finish, as was the second goal from Real Betis. Jose Perez, the former Leicester and Newcastle man, first-time finish, guiding it into that far corner. And that's the danger. It looks like if you give Real Betis a chance, they're getting a shot off. They've hit the frame of the goal once already, and they finish their chances with style. And as you mentioned, Rangers can't allow them to have much more, although they can be pleased with what they've done so far. That is going to be the big concern for Philippe Clement at the half-time break. How can he make his side just harder to beat? Because Real Betis at times playing through them. It's made for a great game, but they want the result, okay? We're not neutrals here. Rangers want to take all 3. Dean Ashton, thank you very much. We'll be back with you very, very soon. Let's get the half-time odds next on Talksport, all thanks to Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
So Brighton level with Marseille at half-time at the Amex. Brighton to win in that game 17-20. The draw's 9-5. Marseille to go on and win is 9-2. West Ham very comfortably in front against Freiburg, so they are 1-22 on to go on to win the game. But can Freiburg come from 2 down? Well, the draw is 16-1, 66-1 if they can come back and win that game. Remember, they came into this level on point. And of course, the game that we've got here, Betis versus Rangers. Well, it's evens for Betis to go on and win the game. The draw's 15-8, Rangers 17-5. Anything can happen in this one. That was the latest odds with Ladbrokes. It's 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Tonight, England's cricketers are trying to level their series, their T20 series, the second international against the West Indies. Watching in Grenada, Andrew McKenna.
Well, they're about to go 2-0 down because there's only 1 ball left of the England innings and they need 15 from it. So unless something goes horribly wrong and Andre Russell bowls a whole load of wides and no balls, it is not going to happen. England are 162 for 7, as I say, with 1 ball left of the innings. So they're going to fall short and go 2-0 down. It wasn't a hugely difficult run chase, but the West Indies have carried things out in the field really well. Sam Curran has top scored for England. He made 50 from 32, batting at number 4. Of the other batters, Salt 25, Jacks 24, Livingston 17. Moeen Ali has finished 22 not out, as England have ended up on 166 for 7. So the West Indies win by 10 runs in this game. The next game is on Saturday, also in Grenada, and 2-0 up with 3 to go. It means England absolutely have to win on Saturday to keep this series alive. Rayan Ahmed has come in at the end and scored 10 from 3 deliveries. But it is another defeat in white ball cricket for England. They've not been able to get this one done. 177 was the target for them to win the game. They've finished up 166 for 7.
So they'll have to win all the next 3 T20s if they're going to seal that series win. I think they just want to be on a plane back home very, very soon. But good news for cricket fans. We do have exclusive rights to all Indian international cricket for the next 5 years here on Talksport. But that means England's next Test series in India, you will be able to hear live and exclusively ball-by-ball coverage starting from the 25th of January. And remember, a big 45 minutes on the way. Rangers will be pleased with how they've applied themselves going forward. Maybe not so much defensively. As it stands, they are going out of the Europa League, but so much has happened, just about anything can happen, and it probably will. Here on Talksport straight after this.
Kick-off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
10 green bottles standing on a wall.
Oi, are you going to join in, Grog Bucket?
I'm wondering where the next charger is.
There's a BP Pulse charger coming up any minute, love.
Well, in that case...
And if one green bottle should accidentally fall, there'd be 9.
Nothing keeps Happy You going like knowing when a BP Pulse charger is nearby. Download the BP Pulse app to keep you going. BP's here for your travel needs, mostly with petrol and diesel, but BP Pulse already has over 3,000 rapid and ultra-fast charging points.
First question! What is the perfect gift for the football-obsessed Talksport addict in your life?
Is it the Talksport football trivia game? The new Talksport football trivia game.
Put your encyclopedic footy IQ on the spot.
Use your on-target knowledge to take on all challenges.
And score the ultimate board game bragging right.
The Talksport football trivia game.
Fan rivalry the whole family can get stuck into.
Available now from Sainsbury's, Amazon and Talksport.com/shop.
Put on a show. So we don't just do offers. We do golden offers like this.
The Golden Boost. Profit boosts every day across football, racing, tennis, and more. Open your BetMGM app and see today's Golden Boost.
BetMGM. It's showtime.
Opt-in required. Profit boosts available on selected markets only. Max stake £5 and max win £1,000. T's and C's apply. Please gamble responsibly.
This Christmas, I am Aquaman. I'm a warrior, a father, and a king of Atlantis. Experience it on the big screen. Wouldn't have it any other way. The sequel to the billion-dollar smash hit.
The Transdark magic is spreading.
Starring Jason Momoa.
Good job, little brother.
Patrick Wilson.
Do not call me brother. You know how to ride one of these? Are you kidding? Come on!
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom in cinemas December 21. Book tickets now.
Where could your hand-cooked tyres take you? For beachside beverages in Bali, a sun-drenched swimming pool in St. Lucia, or the whole of May in the Maldives? Visit handcook.win and you could win daily prizes of shopping vouchers and have the chance to win a £20,000 Virgin holiday. Hand-cooked tyres, fitted for reliability, safety and premium performance. Over 18s. T's and C's apply. See handcook.win.
If you're having a party and you need food, I personally would recommend party food. And there's nothing quite like M&S party food. Like handmade our best ever prawn toasts, pulled beef rusty towers with red wine jus, Middle Eastern style chicken flatbreads, and Texan style dirty fries with a cheesy jalapeno sauce. And they're 4 for $3, so you can have as many parties as you fancy. This is not just party food. This is M&S party food. Selected stores. Offer ends 1st of January 2024. T's and C's apply.
It's the Paddy Power Football Supporters Support Line. We've got Barry on the line. What's up, Barry?
Oh, it's Christmas. There's so much sport to watch. The darts, all the races, a feast of football all month long.
Sounds great. What's the issue?
It's all the other Christmas bits, the present wrapping, the parties, the dinner with the in-laws. I need more time to watch it all.
It's a Christmas full of sport, and to celebrate Paddy Power, have a free bet builder on Liverpool v Man United this Sunday. Paddy Power. Pre-match online bet, but a bet's only. Min 4 legs plus. Must have previously deposited to avail. Max free bet varies from £1 to £25 per customer. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Europa League football.
He's tapped it over the line.
Live on Talksport.
Here's McCausland now towards the penalty area. Seamer with a shot! And Seamer scores! Rangers lead in Seville! Come round Betis! and it's the equaliser. Juan Miranda. Here is Dessers though, into the penalty area, scoops away from one challenge, plays it through the legs of the goalkeeper, and Rangers are back in front. Isco on the edge of the area, shifting one way and then the other. Perez with a shot into the corner, and the former Leicester City man equalises for Real Betis. Rangers are going to need a goal and need a win in the second half if they're to stay in the Europa League. It is Real Betis 2, Rangers 2.
It's been a fantastic evening of football so far on Talksport in the Europa League. Rangers, though, not currently getting the result they need because Sparta Prague lead Aris Limassol by 2-0. That means their 2-2 draw at Betis will not be enough to take them through to the knockout stages of the Europa League. At the moment, they'll be going down to the playoff stage in the Europa Conference League, and that is not what they want, having been in finalists in the Europa League a little bit over 18 months ago. So plenty of work still for them to do. The latest scores, by the way, if you're just joining us, Brighton goalless with Marseille. Brighton currently going through in second spot. Look, West Ham look like they're going to finish top. They lead Freiburg by 2-0. A little bit earlier on, Aberdeen beat Eintracht Frankfurt by 2-0 in the Conference League. Aberdeen already out. Aston Villa finished top. They beat Zrinski. They drew with Zrinski out in Bosnia-Herzegovina. It finished 1-1. And tonight it finished Manchester United 3, Leicester 1 in the Women's League Cup. In the Women's Champions League, it finished Bayern 1, Ajax 1, Paris FC 2, Real Madrid 1. And at half-time, it is Chelsea 0, Harken 0, and Paris Saint-Germain 1, Roma 0. So lots for us to look ahead to. Remember, we'll have live football for you here tomorrow night from the Premier League exclusively, as well as Nottingham Forest host Tottenham Hotspur. But Dean Ashton, who is watching this game for us tonight, what are you expecting to see from Rangers in that second 45 minutes? Will they be a little bit more pragmatic and try and maybe pinch something at the end, or will they stick to what they're doing?
I think something has to change on that left-hand side for Real Betis. They've been so good, they've been so dominant. They won't win the game if they continue to play in the manner that they have done, because obviously, you know, they've hit the bar, they've had other chances as well, Real Betis. They've looked a real threat on the break, Rangers. I just wonder if that side where McCausland, who, to be fair to him, has been really good going forward, but a real issue defensively, not helping Tavernier. That's the only worry I would have for Rangers, because other than that, I've been really impressed with the way they've played through, and when they have kept the ball, they've shown quality and they've been a real threat.
Well, let's see if there are going to be changes at the break. The players making their way back onto the pitch. 67,000 fans and a strong Rangers contingent. And it looks like there could be changes made by the Rangers boss, Philippe Clement. At the break, Real Betis 2, Rangers 2, live on Talksport with the former England striker, Dean Ashton, and Talksport's Alex Crook.
Thank you, Hugh. Dujon Sterling is coming on for Rangers for the start of this second half, replacing Jose Cifuentes in midfield. Looks like that will be the only alteration. Rangers, who've won just 2 of their last 19 European away games. They need a victory in this second half, or it will be Conference League football for Philippe Clement's side in the second half of the season. It will be Rangers all in blue to get us underway for the second 45 here on Talksport. The visitors with Butland in goal, a back four of Tavernier, Goldson, Davis and Barisic. Lundstrom and Sterling now the midfield duo, with McCausland, Lammers and Seema behind Dessers in attack. We are back underway. Real Betis unchanged, so Rui Silva is the goalkeeper as Lundstrom picks up possession from 35 yards out, lets fly and drills his shot high over the bar. Bayerin, Petzela, Roca and Miranda, the back four. Guardado and William Carvalho in front of them. Perez, Isco and João behind Borja Iglesias, the lone striker. 2-2 the score. Dean Ashton, what do you make of that change?
Well, I just wonder whether Sterling coming on and playing in that Cifuentes role as the right-hand side midfielder, whether it is going to be his role to get out towards Tavernier and help him out when Isco, you know, drifts over that side, and Perez and Miranda. Maybe that maybe he wanted to make sure that he kept McCausland on because he's been so good going forwards. Maybe Cifuentes is the player is the casualty, and Sterling coming in they have to give Tavernier some support.
Real Betis have a throw. We play inside the Rangers half. They're attacking the goal away to the left in this second half, and Iglesias off balance has only poked the ball out of play for a Rangers throw. Back underway at London Stadium. West Ham leading Freiburg by 2-0. They're going to top their Europa League group. Brighton need a goal in the second half if they're to top their group. 0-0 against Marseille. They'll be going through. The Seagulls in second place. Earlier tonight, Liverpool beaten away from home against Union Saint-Galois. They still go through to the last 16 in the Europa League. Aston Villa were held in Bosnia, but they are into the last 16 of the Conference League. A reminder, coming up on Talksport tomorrow, live and exclusive Premier League coverage of Nottingham Forest against Tottenham. Here is Guardado, the Real Betis captain, tries to play it out to the left-hand side, and Miranda. It's connected by Perez on the touchline. Miranda into Isco. Calls and tracks him all the way, and Isco plays the ball back into the centre circle and gets it back from Herman Petzela, the Argentine World Cup winner. Played 3 of their games in Qatar this time last year. Bayer in, looking for the run of João, but Seema once again does his defensive duty and clears upfield from the left-back position. It stays 2-2.
I mean, he scored a brilliant goal, but defensively, Seema's been outstanding. You know, making sure he's in good positions, really attentive for his fullback to make sure he's in the right positions, but also aggressive in the way that he's defended as well.
Here's Seema. Now we're talking about dispossessed by Iglesias inside the Rangers half. Put the ball harmlessly out of play for the throw. Real Betis unbeaten in their last 14 home Europa League group games. That's the enormity of the task facing Rangers. They have been twice in front, but twice they've been penned back. You wonder in this second half, all those absentees take their toll for the visitors. No Danilo, no Tom Lawrence, no Todd Cantwell for personal reasons, and no Leon Balogun either, a late withdrawal.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt as well that Real Betis have got much more strength in depth to come from their bench. Clement talking about, you know, a couple of academy players sat on the Rangers bench. Great experience for them, but would they be ready for a game such as this?
A game played at such frenetic pace. Speaking of pace, here's João down the right-hand side. Seema tracks him all the way, slides in, concedes a corner. João's gone down theatrically, but it will only be a corner. And it's Real Betis 2, Rangers 2 here on Talksport. Rangers finalists of this competition back in 2022, losing to Frankfurt on penalties, and in 2008 as well, when they were beaten in Manchester by Zenit St. Petersburg. João has stayed down, so maybe I was doing him a little bit of a disservice, but it's been a good battle, isn't it, between those two speedsters over on the Rangers right.
Yeah, I mean, he gets the ball, but it's the follow-through. Seema's foot goes into the turf and then springs up and hits him right on the side of the calf, and his tiny, almost like half a piece of toast down his sock, shin pad, that just gets flown out.
Well, as we've got a gap in play here, I wonder if we can go around some of our other European games tonight. It was Brighton 0, Marseille 0 at half-time. We've got a corner, actually, so we'll cross to Ian Abrahams very shortly. Corner to be played in from that right-hand side by Isco. And João with a header. Brilliant save by Butland at the near post to claw the ball away. And here come Rangers on the counter. But they were so close to falling behind at one end. And they've carried the ball with Sterling all the way to the other, and his cross is intercepted, and what looked a promising counter-attack in the end comes to nothing. Let's go down to the Amex. Any sign of a Brighton breakthrough? Ian Abraham.
No, Alex. 52 gone still. Brighton 0, Marseille 0. A couple of runs from Matoma. One cross that was just too far ahead of Pedro. But at the moment, this is a stalemate, and that will suit Marseille. Brighton 0, Marseille 0.
What about that save from Jack Butland? In fact, did it hit the bar? Did the goalkeeper even get fingertips on it, Dean Ashton?
No, I think he slaps the crossbar himself, Butland, which makes it look like he's made the save. It just crashes off the crossbar from João, that near post run and flicked header. Butland flying to his left hand side just slaps the bar once the ball has gone.
That's twice they've been denied by the bar. Real Betis, Guardado with a long range effort in the first half. João with a header from the corner in the second. 2-2 in Seville. Not enough for Rangers. They need to win if they're to stay in the Europa League. Late challenge from Tavernier, who's going to be penalised. Caught Miranda as he was attacking down the left-hand side. It will be a free kick for Real Betis right in the corner of the penalty area.
I'm pretty sure Miranda actually kicked Tavernier there. Maybe Sterling went across. That's definitely going to be a feature. It was Sterling actually who in the end got the tackle in, and it was a foul on Miranda. And I think that's why he's been brought on, not to foul him, but to get for that protection, to get alongside him and stop him making those runs in behind.
I mean, nearly caught out by the last dead ball situation. Rangers, they've got this to defend. Isco and Guardado over the ball, level with the penalty area. Great delivery! Oh, they were queuing up in the centre. How on earth did Mark Rocker not turn that in from 6 yards? The Real Betis players surrounding the referee and asking for a penalty. João missed his header at the near post, and then it almost hit Rocker. He tried to bundle it over the line. That chance went begging as well. And they want handball against Ben Davies after Butland had made the initial save. Dean Ashton.
Well, look, he definitely hits his arm, that's for sure. When it comes back off Butland, he doesn't know anything about it because it springs off Butland's knees. Rocker doesn't know anything about it either, as Diao missed the header. He then almost controlled it into the feet of Butland's. Just stood up, hit Davis, right decision, no penalty.
In comes the corner though. Rangers having difficulty dealing with these set pieces in the second half. The ball is nodded goalwards by Guardado, but bounces harmlessly away for a goal kick. We played 9 minutes since the interval. It's 2-2 here. Brighton 0, Marseille 0, as you were hearing from Ian Abrahams a few moments ago. And West Ham 2-0 up against Freiburg. They're going through to the last 16 as group winners. Still, Aris Limassol 0, Sparta Prague 3 in this group. So unless Aris Limassol can score 3 goals in the second half, Rangers do have to win to secure one of those top 2 places. And they're soaking up a lot of pressure from Real Betis at this moment in time. Isco into Iglesias on the edge of the area. Room to turn for the big number 9. Shoots right-footed, curls it high over the bar.
Reasonable effort, but not the best from Iglesias. I think he's been poor actually, the big number 9.
Let's find out if there's any sign of a Freiburg comeback in the second half at West Ham. Jake Robson.
On this viewing, 57 on the clock, still West Ham 2, Freiburg 0. Alvarez has gone off. He scored one and created one in the first half. Fornal's on. David Moyes looking to shut up shop early doors in this second half. West Ham 2, Freiburg 0.
Very strong West Ham team, named by David Moyes tonight, getting the job done. I remember the more Premier League teams that can go as far as possible in the various competitions, the better for the coefficient, the more chance there'll be of a 5th Champions League place. Manchester United and Newcastle didn't exactly help out on that front this week by crashing out not only of the Champions League but out of Europe altogether. At least Rangers know that won't happen to them tonight. They're guaranteed the backstop of a place in the Conference League. Having reached the final of this competition just 18 months ago, it would be a real disappointment if they couldn't progress to the knockout stages. And you look back on those games against Aris Limassol as being potentially defining. If they don't go through, it won't because of what happens here tonight.
No, especially the game at Ibrox. It's a game they have to win against Aris Limassol.
To lose to Aris Limassol as well in the right game.
Yeah, not great.
Here's Bayerin. into the penalty area for Real Betis. Crosses blocked by Barisic and then volleyed up field by Davis. And McCausland to chase. Miranda does really well, slides in. In the end, has to concede the throw.
They've not quite had the threat, have they, in the second half so far, Rangers? It's been all Real Betis. Not been able to put 3 or 4 passes together, Rangers.
There's Lundstrom in midfield, out to Tavernier, the captain. All the way back for Butland in goal, 57 gone. Real Betis 2, Rangers 2. Not enough for the Rangers to go through in the Europa League. Seamer dropping into midfield and then to release Sterling. And Sterling has found Lammers. Lammers with a chance to cross into the centre. Only headed away as far as Tavernier, and then not the most convincing of clearances by Miranda. McCausland trying to keep Rangers on the front foot here. He claims he was fouled in between 2 Real Betis players. The assistant referee had a good view of it, says no, and then the clearance has gone straight to Lammers. Lammers into the penalty area, goes down. I think he was looking for it. The referee has booked Isco, and he's awarded a free kick on the edge of the area.
Oh, it's tight. It's really tight. It was a terrible mistake from Roca. Just went to play it into midfield and shanked it into the path of Lammers, who did well actually, just about sorted his feet out. Isco didn't sort his out. It's definitely a foul. He jumps almost, Lammers, into the penalty area, hoping that he can make sure that it looks like a penalty, but it's definitely outside.
Yeah, Isco was standing in the D on the edge of the box when he made the challenge, but nonetheless a free kick for Rangers in a goal-scoring position here, right on the edge of the area. 2-2 the score. We've played 58 minutes on Talksport. Borna Barisic is showing a strong interest in this free kick. Hasn't scored since February. Barisic now might be a good time to end that drought. How big a moment might this be?
I always think when you're this close to the edge of the penalty area, you have to move the ball. You have to shift it to one side and then someone comes along and strikes it. I think to get this up and over has to be a fantastic free kick.
Miranda is laying down behind a 5-man green and white shirted Real Betis wall. Goalkeeper Rui Silva at the moment is gravitating towards the near right hand post. That leaves quite a sizable gap on the left hand side. They could roll it into the cause, but in space to the right of Barisic. He's going to go for goal. Barisic did try and get it up and down, and he slammed it straight into the wall. Tavernier with a cross over the head of Sam Lammers, but kept alive by Seamer, and Seamer with the cross-cut shot curled straight into the arms of Rui Silva. Dean Ashton.
Better though from Rangers, much better. When they do put those passes together, they look like a decent side. It's just too often, especially in the second half and parts of the first half, when they give the ball away cheaply, it just makes that task so much harder. But when they put those plays together and on the break, they've looked very good.
Hour gone. Real Betis 2, Rangers 2. Let's cross to Joshua Adedonco. He's watching Chelsea women in action.
Chelsea 0, Hecken 0, just from past the hour mark, and Lauren James about to come on to inject some attacking intent. Joanna Wright and Kennard denied by Hecken's goal after being beautifully slipped in by Erin Cuff. But Chelsea 0, Hecken 0.
Real Betis 2, Rangers 2 in the Europa League. Rangers needing all 3 points to qualify. A point good enough for their Spanish hosts. Betis, who reached the round of 16 in this competition last season, lost to Manchester United. In fact, their last home European defeat was courtesy of Marcus Rashford's goal for United last season. And there just seems to be more control from Real Betis in this second half, Dean, actually.
Yeah, perfect word. They've just they've almost not allowed it to be as open as it was, probably fearful of that Rangers attack, sort of slowed it right down with their own possession, just trying to wear Rangers down.
How much more have Rangers got to give in the final half an hour? Have lost 5 of their last 7 European away ties. I mean, there will come a stage, won't there? Probably, the last 15 minutes when maybe Philippe Clement, as they did in the first half, has to throw caution to the wind and commit bodies forward. That will leave the risk of being hit on the counter as Tavernier is dispossessed on the edge of the area by Isco. And then sliding in, Tavernier toes for the error by robbing the ball away from Iglesias. A mistake up front from Cyril Dessers, the score of the second Rangers goal, as he just missed the ball, bounce off his body and out for a throw.
I wonder whether he's already thinking about the pattern of the game and what he can do to affect it. Philippe Clement, he's got Matondo, he's got Roof to possibly change things. I don't think he'll change the system.
That was risky from Lundstrom, taking on Iglesias on the edge of the Rangers area, but he heard of the challenge and wanted to find McCausland, that he can't keep the ball in play. It's out for a goal kick. Just starting Rangers, even at this early stage of the second half, to look a little weary. 2-2 the score. They certainly used plenty of energy in what was a pulsating first half on Talksport. A couple of youngsters that Philippe Clement has brought along tonight are out warming up.
I thought it was a couple of ball boys.
Cole McKinnon, 20-year-old forward, and Aaron Lyle, who's only played 1 first team minute. Both out, maybe just soaking up the atmosphere, and certainly is a very lively crowd tonight. Ramos comes forward down the left-hand side looking to find Dessers, and throws himself into the penalty area, but Miranda ushers it back to the goalkeeper Rui Silva, and he looks to play it out to the right-hand side. Lundstrom is penalised for a foul on Isco. I understand why he's frustrated, John Lundstrom. He's going to get booked for his protest, but there's too much in that thing.
He was just stronger. That's what's annoyed him. He was just physically stronger than Isco, as you would imagine. Just got his body across. Isco barged to the floor. He was in control of the challenge, Lundstrom, but the minute you turn around and gesture towards the referee, the yellow card will be out.
John Lundstrom picking up first Rangers booking of the night. The free kick has been taken and they were looking to release Perez, but he can't keep the ball in play, and here come a couple of changes for Rangers, and the couple of players that Dean was just talking about. Kemar Roof and Rabbi Matondo will be on to add some fresh legs, fresh impetus potentially for the visitors. Cyril Dessers, who scored one of those 2 first half goals, makes way for Roof. It will be Ross McCausland replaced by the Welshman Matondo, and as those changes are taking place, can we get back to the Amex Stadium? Brighton need a goal to top their Europa League group. Any sign of it coming? Ian Abrahams?
No, not really. 65 gone still. Brighton 0, Marseille 0. But 2 things have happened since you were last with me. Evan Ferguson is now on for Brighton, and Marseille have hit the post. It's Brighton 0, Marseille 0.
So as it stands, Brighton through as runners-up. They will have to take their chances in a playoff round in the Europa League against one of the teams dropping out of the Champions League. For Rangers, with the score here at 2-2, they'll be going into the Conference League playoffs come the new year. Throw-in taken by Tavernier, looking for Matondo, but it's volleyed upfield by Miranda. I do wonder as well, Dean Ashton, the final 25 minutes, just how much Real Betis will want to push for the winner, knowing that a winner would take them through as top of the group, but knowing it would also leave the risk of them potentially being hit on the counter-attack.
You would expect them to know the permutations and where they stand throughout this second half, and that should then influence Manuel Pellegrini in terms of the manner in which his team go about the rest of the game. And they have set off, haven't they? Just in the last 5 or 6 minutes, they've just let Rangers back in slightly with a bit more possession.
66 on the clock, 2-2 the score. Jose Perez scored an excellent second equaliser for Real Betis, twice behind the first half. Finds Giao. Bellerin bursting forward on the overlap. Only at the moment Iglesias in the centre for Real Betis, so played out to William Carvalho instead. Now Isco, who looks the threat every time he's in possession in that final third. He goes out to the left this time, and Miranda. Here's Isco again, the number 22 for Real Betis, but Rangers have got everybody in blue back inside their own half, so the ball is just swung out to that right-hand side and Bellerin. Now Guardado into Isco, right in the centre of the Rangers half. Again, guides it out to this left-hand side of Miranda. Now Perez on the edge of the penalty area. Perez, great footwork to get away from Sterling. His shot blocked by Goldson. Back with Isco. Here's Perez again. With those dancing feet. Tavernier slides in and concedes a corner.
Yeah, I mean, Isco, he doesn't take a bad touch, does he? Honestly, just sticks to the end of his foot. Lovely little pass in towards Jose Perez. Bad defending from Tavernier because he allowed him to turn and face him in the penalty area, but then did well just to poke it behind.
68 gone, 2-2 the score! Make that 3-2 to Real Betis. Petzela with a header from the corner, but the flag is up on the far side. The assistant, I think, has spotted a handball by Herman Petzela. Brilliant delivery from the corner. I think he did turn the ball. It was Jose Perez, actually. Petzela with the initial header that Butland has palmed into the path of Perez, and it did hit his right arm. And that's why the goal has been disallowed.
But it just showed how important that save was from Butland. How important, because I think Perez probably just gets his foot up in the air and taps it in. Instead, Butland just gets a fingertip to it, and then it strikes Perez's arm. The goal certainly won't be given.
Well, they are checking it, but it looks a pretty straightforward decision. Wonderful delivery from Isco again. Perez has certainly put the ball in with his arm. Still the check continues though, so these are nervous moments for the travelling Rangers fans. Meantime, Real Betis are about to make a double change. William Jose and Abde Ezulzuli will be coming on. How many times do you need to look at it, Dean Ashton? It's a clear handball, isn't it?
Not as clear as you'll ever see. Hits Jose Perez on the elbow.
What does he indicate? Yeah, he's just indicating the referee that indeed it was handball. And it will be a Rangers free kick. A big roar goes up from the visiting supporters.
Again, because it's not particularly clear, is it, for the supporters inside the stadium? The way the referee gestured there made it look as if it was he was pointing back towards the centre circle.
William Jose is coming on for Borja Iglesias, so a straight change in attack, and it will be the youngster Giao, replaced by Ezulzuli, the Moroccan, former Barcelona graduate, who comes on in his place. Real Betis 2, Rangers 2 on Talksport. We've got 20 minutes to play here. Any sign of any more goals at London Stadium? West Ham taking on Freiburg. Here's Talksport's Jake Robson.
73 on the clock. It's West Ham 2, Freiburg 0, and it really is as you were. West Ham ringing the changes. Ings and Mabama have now come on as well. Paquetá and Bowen off. Alvarez, the goal scorer and assister for the first, went off. West Ham lead through a Kudus goal on 14 minutes and an Alvarez on 42. It's West Ham 2, Freiburg 0.
And West Ham going through as group winners. They'll be straight into the round of 16. Rangers going out of the Europa League unless they can find a winner in the remaining 19 minutes here. Real Betis 2, Rangers 2. In fact, they've scored twice already. Dean Ashton is feather in Philippe Clement's cap. This is against the Real Betis side who have the 4th best defensive record in La Liga. They've not conceded more than once in any of their last 18 matches before tonight, since losing 5-0 to Barcelona.
Yeah, I think, again, massive positives for Philippe Clement. Whether he'll take it as that, if they're not able to stay in this competition, I very much doubt it. But still, from our point of view, I've been impressed with the way that they have attacked. Not so much in this second half. They've struggled to really threaten.
Here is Isco, just in from the left touchline, but inside the Rangers half of the field. Pellegrini pacing his technical area. As Isco comes forward down the left, there was a collision involving Ozozuli and Sterling. And if we can stop playing here, but Sterling stayed down. I hope fans not particularly happy about that.
Yeah, but it's clearly a facial injury for Sterling. Doesn't know anything about it. It's just a really unfortunate clash between Sterling and Ozozulu, who's just come on.
He does look a little bit dazed as well, Sterling, in fairness. Rangers unbeaten under Philippe Clement, unbeaten since losing to Aris Limassol. Ultimately the defeat that's going to cost them progression to the knockout stages.
I'm pretty sure though that he would have taken this with 20 minutes to go, level with Real Betis, just a goal away, knowing that they could really throw things at it right at the end. I think he would have taken it.
Had they have won either of those games against Limassol, they'd be top of the group.
Yeah.
That's the frustration.
Well, especially when you produce good performances and brilliant results in the other games, in the tougher, so-called tougher games. That's what's disappointing.
Yeah, as it stands, they're going to take 4 points off Real Betis, which I think they were settled for when the draw was made. They've had a lengthy stoppage here. The referee is about to restart with a bounce ball in Rangers' favour. That's the reason for the wolf whistling from the Betis fans. 2-2 it remains, and Connor Goldson looks to immediately set Matondo away, but the ball is straight into the arms of the goalkeeper Rui Silva, who missed the defeat at Ibrox due to injury. He plays it out short to the edge of the penalty area. Rocker goes long. Tavernier with a header away, but intercepted by Isco. Zuzuli trying to come in from the left-hand side. He gets hold of the shirt of Sterling. Referee plays advanced. Rangers still have possession. Lindstrom out to the left from Seamat, but still inside the Rangers half the field, away to our left. Go all the way back actually to goalkeeper Butland. 16 minutes of the 90 remain. Real Betis 2, Rangers 2 on Talksport. West Ham 2, Freiburg 0. And Brighton 0, Marseille 0. The other two Europa League games with British interest. Earlier tonight, Liverpool beaten away from home against Union Saint-Galois, but they still go through as group winners. And Aston Villa held in Bosnia in the Conference League, but they too top the group and go straight into the round of 16. Rangers bidding to avoid dropping into that Conference League, but going to need to score a goal. It's still Aris Limassol 0, Sparta Prague 3 in the other game in this group, as it was at the break. Free kick for offside inside the Real Betis penalty area.
Yeah, too much of the game is just passing Rangers by at the moment. Isco is having more and more influence on the game. I talked about the way he takes many touches, and they're not getting that tight to him. They're allowing him 3, 4, 5 touches. That can't happen. He's doing that on purpose. He's slowing things down. He's having that influence. He's dictating the tempo.
Barisic forced into an error by Perez, but then Perez needlessly fouled the Rangers left back. It's going to be a free kick well inside their own half. Rangers who've won just 3 of their last 15 European away games. 15 European games, in fact. 2 clean sheets in that time as well. They conceded twice tonight, having twice taken the lead. All the goals coming in the first half. For those of you just tuning in, Abdullah Sima broke the deadlock on 10 minutes. Juan Miranda made it 1-1 for Betis 4 minutes later, only for Cyril Dessers to restore Rangers' lead on 19 minutes, and Jose Perez with a fine finish 8 minutes before half-time, giving us this 2-2 score. And Rangers haven't created any meaningful opportunities since half-time to get back in front. Here's Miranda. Real Betis have looked much the more threatening of the two. Miranda deep inside his own half into Carvalho, moves it on quickly, looking for William Jose, but Mushrooms won it back strongly. Opportunity here maybe for Seema inside the penalty area. He's in two minds about whether to cross or shoot. In the end, his ball is blocked by Guardado. Seema's got it back again though. Attacking down the left-hand side, forward to Lammers. Lammers with a cutback, looking for Kemar Roof. And it's held behind by William Carvalho, and Rangers have a corner after a rare foray forward in this second half, and Philippe Clement will be determined, Dean Ashton, to make the most of these set pieces.
Yeah, it's Seema again though. He's been by far the most threatening player for Rangers down the left-hand side. Lovely little combination between him and Lammers. Kemar Roof not able to get a touch on it, but it was deflected behind. Can they make the most of a set play?
Feels like a big opportunity. 12 minutes to play, 2-2 the score. Barisic from the left-hand side, and it's nodded across the box to Goldson at the far post. Goldson pulls it back. Can they scramble it in? Yes, they can. Kemar Roof may just have kept Rangers in the Europa League. They lead for a third time in Seville. Real Betis 2, Rangers 3.
And like the deadly striker that he's always been, Kemar Roof, he's just waiting. He's just waiting, anticipating, stalking his prey almost in that penalty area. He's just hoping that it falls for him. He's just stuck himself right in the way of the goalkeeper and thinking, if this falls for me, I'm ready, I'm on my toes. Every good striker should be. And he just swivels and flicks it past Silva as it bobbles around in the penalty area. They've made the most of the set play, and it's Kemar Roof who's bright as a button in the penalty area.
And it was Mark Roca who was keeping him onside. He was the deepest of the Real Betis defenders. He had a quick look before celebrating, but no question that the goal will stand. And incredibly, Rangers are back to the top of the group. They're back into the last 16, Dean Ashton.
Well, we talked about them not really being that fluid in this second half. The set plays are always so important. And both parts of it, they win the first header, they're alive to the second. Goldson does really well, plays it back into the area, and you need sometimes a striker that's just going to wait and hope and gamble. That's what your job is. You're constantly doing that. You're waiting for the one out of 50 that does land at your feet and you stick it away.
It's only Kemar Roof's second goal of the season, his first since August. How crucial it could be for Rangers and their loud and proud travelling supporters. And can they hold on to this lead, having led twice in the first half and been pinned back, and all of a sudden Real Betis, having just tried to manage the game for much of the second half, Dean Ashton going to need to play on the front foot. Here comes Seema though, and he's knocked the ball beyond the defender, and he's got to the byline. He looks to cut it back inside the area. It's cleared by Guardado.
There's a difference though, isn't it? Not as many Rangers players there trying to get in the area. Seema maybe just needs to get his head up there, realise that he could have slowed things down, give his teammates time to come and support him. What do they do now, Rangers? Do they sit in, or do they just try and keep pressing?
Well, the home fans are shell-shocked. This place is silent, barring those travelling hordes from Ibrox. Here is Seema up against Bellerin, plays it out to Lundstrom on the edge of the area. Lundstrom with a cross steered in towards Matondo, but cleared by Miranda. Tavernier trying to have the beating of Ezil Zuli. There's too many green and white shirts around him, and Tavernier has to give it away. There is more action on the Real Betis bench, and a couple of changes being readied. Luis Enrique, the Brazilian, thinks Aitor Ruibal, another player about to come on. Let's get back to the Amex while those changes are being made. Brighton need a winner. Are they going to get one? Ian Abraham.
Time's running out, Alex. 8 to go here. Still Brighton 0, Marseille 0. Ismail Assar is on for Marseille. Brighton, despite having Ferguson, Milner and Lallana on, still don't look like scoring. It's still Brighton 0, Marseille 0.
They have found home wins hard to come by of late. Brighton held again in the Premier League at the weekend against Burnley. Moment, going to be dropping 2 points against Marseille. They'll be going through in second place as Ruibal comes on to replace Bellerin at right back. Luis Enrique also introduced. It's William Carvalho who goes off. Remember, another Betis equaliser, and it changes the whole complexion again. Rangers would drop from first to third and drop into the Conference League as James Tavernier picks up a yellow card, the Rangers skipper.
Yeah, feels like a gigantic 10 or so minutes for Rangers.
What a scoreline this would be against a team who held Real Madrid as recently as the weekend, a team with an impregnable home record. Rangers who've struggled on their travels, particularly in Europe. To come here and score 3 times is absolutely sensational for Philippe Clement's men.
Just a little point on Philippe Clement. He recognised the threat from Real Betis in that first half, and he did something about it. He brought on Sterling for Cifuentes. They haven't been as dangerous down that side. Sterling's got himself across. Rotondo now is on as well, doing that defensive role, because we barely mentioned Miranda in this second half, and first half he was outstanding.
The clumsy challenge there from Sterling, bending Isco, and it's a free kick which is taken inside the centre circle by Petzela. Good job of keeping possession since they went in front, Rangers. Sima is forced to put the ball out of play for a Real Betis throw on the far side. Guardado into the centre circle, and Roca, based on what we've seen tonight, Mark, Roca Leeds fans will be pleased to know that he's not improved much since he left Ellen Road. He's not had a great night, has he?
Not particularly, and he was asleep, wasn't he, for the goal. He just needed to get out with the rest of his defence into a decent defensive line, and Kemar Roof would have been offside. Instead, he watched the play as it developed, kept Kemar Roof onside.
Here come Real Betis, though, looking for their third equaliser of the night. Out to the right-hand side it goes. Rangers have got plenty of blue shirts back behind the ball. Betis, plenty of players queuing up in the centre for a delivery. Luis Enrique cuts into the area, tries to cross it, blocked by Barisic. Back with Luis Enrique again, and it's Guardado who swings one in. Goldson with a header clear, and it's helped away by Lammers. Real Betis 2, Rangers 3. Rangers 5 minutes plus stoppage time away from reaching the Europa League last 16 here on Talksport. Here's Ezil Zuli, and a shot high over the crossbar from William Jose. Rangers will be more than happy for efforts like that to keep coming their way.
Oh, won't they? What a let-off. Lovely. Just what you want to see. You're a Rangers defender. A couple of deep breaths. It was high and wide over the top from William Jose. And they are deep now, Rangers. Very, very deep. It's only natural, isn't it? Just to sit and hold on to what you've got.
Jack Butler with the long ball upfield for Rangers, but it's found its way to his opposite number, Rui Silva. He wastes no time in bowling out to the right-hand side of Ruibal. Back with Petzela. Bernardo with a breaking pass forward. Finds Ezil Zuli, and he's taking on Tavernier. Ezil Zuli with a cross, but beyond William Jose and Jose Perez waiting in the centre, and it will be cleared away by Seema. They've just got to get a hold of the ball again here, Rangers.
Yeah, they have. Tavernier looked fatigued there, didn't he? He was beaten easily. I mean, look, the pressure's going to build, that's for sure.
I feel they'll carve at least one more big chance. Betis. Here's Ezil Zuli trying to do that. Played out to the edge of the penalty area. Shot's been drilled in. More desperate shouts for handball. Referee uninterested. It was Mark Rocker who let fly from the edge of the area.
Yeah, it was a brilliant strike actually from Rocker, but it just hit Sterling right in the stomach, but his elbows are there, so it cannons off them as well. They're tucked in. No way that's going to be a penalty.
Finally, the breakthrough goal at the Amex are Brighton going into the last 16. Ian Abraham.
The answer is yes. Brighton 1, Marseille 0. João Pedro, 3 minutes from time, has fired into the top of the net, and Brighton finally, Alex, have their goal and should have their win. Brighton 1, Marseille 0.
So Brighton in front. Rangers in front here against Real Betis, leading by 3-2. West Ham 2-0 up in stoppage time against Freiburg. As it stands, all three will be winning their group and going into the last 16 of the Europa League. Kemar Roofu's goal at the moment will be the winner for Rangers, has been scythed down by an increasingly frustrated Mark Rocker. He's got a yellow card for that tackle, and it will give Rangers Dean Ashton the chance just to waste a few more valuable seconds.
Yeah, that's so important. Your role as a centre forward when your defence is under severe pressure is when that ball comes up. Can you win something? Can you get hold of it? Can you be strong? Can you win a free kick? Kemar Roof, all his experience there, just a little flick away from Rocker, who are diving in because he's desperate and his team are desperate. Free kick. They could just keep a bit of possession in the opposition's half.
Cross back to the game in the Women's Champions League very shortly, but here is Lammers on the edge of the area for Rangers. Ball cleared as far as Lundstrom. Lundstrom pokes it forward. Roof was on his toes, but the goalkeeper Rui Silva got there first, and he bowls it out to the edge of the area. 90 seconds plus stoppage time, all that separate Rangers from a place in the last 16 of the Europa League. The final whistle is gone at London Stadium. Back to Jake Robson very shortly. But it's Real Betis who come forward over the halfway line with Petzela. All eyes on the fourth official in a minute or so to see exactly how long Rangers will have to hold out for in terms of stoppage time. On a glory night for the men from Ibrox at the moment. Here is Ezil Zuli. The ball given away by Willian Jose, and Hammers can't keep it. Ezil Zuli's been fouled, has he? It's a free kick and a booking for Kemar Roof. Let's get full time at London Stadium. Jake Robson.
And it's finished West Ham 2, Freiburg 0. Easy as you like for David Moyes' men, who cruised to a first place finish in Group A. They only needed a draw here tonight against Freiburg in a game played between the top two sides, only separated in favour of the Hammers by their win in Germany earlier on in the group stages. And it was 14 from the start of the first half. They took the lead. Kudus is fifth of the season. Alvarez with the through ball before the midfielder got his first of the season after a neat 1-2 with Jared Bowen. 3 from the end of the first half. They cruised through the second half. West Ham topped the group. It's finished West Ham 2, Freiburg 0.
Real Betis with a free kick into the area. Jose Perez plays it along the 6-yard line, and Butler had to get there. He was hanging in the air for a moment, but great goalkeeping. Let's find out the latest in the Women's Champions League. Chelsea taking on Aachen. Here's Talksport's Joshua Adudonka.
We've just played 2 minutes. Our fire that's been added on here. It's turned out to be a frustrating night for Chelsea. It's Chelsea 0, Aachen 0. Win, of course, would put Chelsea top of the group. At the moment, it's the heading for a stalemate. 0-0 here.
5 minutes of added time to be played in Seville. Real Betis 2, Rangers 3 on Talksport. Rangers topping the group. Unless Real Betis can score a dramatic late equaliser. We've got a stoppage because Connor Goldson is down with a head injury. And that may see us go beyond the 5 allotted minutes of minimal stoppage time. Tavernier with the diagonal ball out to the Rangers left, headed on by Seema, looking for Kemar Roof, the scorer of what could well be the winner. He can't get there, and it's going to be a goal kick for Real Betis.
I mean, look, this would be another outrageous win for Rangers in Europe. I don't think many would have given them a genuine chance of winning this game. A draw, maybe. We would have expected Betis with their record to win, but they've carried a threat and they've been brave when they've needed to be.
And they see out the final 3.5 minutes of stoppage time. Tavernier with a clearance upfield for Rangers. Sterling isn't going to chase that because he knew it was always going to roll through for Rui Silva, the Real Betis goalkeeper. Philippe Clement in his suit out orchestrating from the touchline. He will be beaming with pride at this Rangers performance. Can they get over the line? Not sure there's much of a foul there. Lundstrom on Ezil Zuli. A free kick just on the edge of the centre circle inside Rangers territory for Real Betis, taken short. Here's Isco, makes his way towards the box. He can try and cross right-footed. Superbly blocked by Sterling. Here's Kemar Roof, who is dispossessed by the sliding challenge from Isco, but it will be a Rangers throw, and we're into the last 2.5 minutes of 5 added on. Betis 2, Rangers 3.
Really added something, Sterling, in this second half for Rangers on the right-hand side. Miranda, barely mentioned. Tavernier, much happier to have a player there to come and help out. It's definitely made a difference, that change by the manager, Philippe Clement.
Real Betis have the ball. Guardado still spraying past this, the Mexican, out to the right-hand side. Rangers with everybody bar Roof back behind the ball. Forward it goes towards the area, cleared by the captain Tavernier. Roof needs to make it stick. He does so. Lammers has got Seema bursting forward on the left. It's 3 on 4. If they want to go for the killer final goal here. That's a poor effort. Really, really poor effort from Matondo. What is he thinking? Seriously, what is he thinking? Straight into the arms of the keeper, and it gives Real Betis another chance to come forward. Rangers will be hoping that isn't a costly mistake. Miranda, little dink ball into the area. Oh, and they missed the header, and it's clawed away by Butland. What an opportunity. In the 4th minute of added on time, it was Petzela who'd been sent forward. Ben Davies got caught underneath the ball, and Butland managed to make the save. Real Betis 2, Rangers 3. Can they hold on, Dean Ashton?
I mean, look, everyone's in their defensive positions. It's all you can do is just head everything away, make sure you're organised. They're desperate now, Real Betis.
Rangers on the brink of glory. They lead in Seville by 3 goals to 2. And we're deep into injury time at the end of the 90. A reminder, West Ham have beaten Freiburg by 2 goals to 0. Brighton lead against Marseille in the closing stages there, 1-0. And here, Real Betis will still try and come forward.
I mean, you can hear from the crowd, they're desperate for just a chance to create something against this Rangers defence. Isco constantly trying to get on the ball now. They've defended so well though in these last 10 minutes, Rangers.
Philippe Clement kicking every ball. Time running out for Real Betis. Isco just put a dangerous free kick into the area, but it was cleared away. The Rangers fans baying for the final whistle at the end of one of the most dramatic of European nights on Talksport.
I mean, how must them Rangers fans up at the top of the stand feel? How are they going to feel when that whistle blows?
They will be ready to party long into the night. Let's hope the Taverners have packed plenty of beer.
I mean, these are the nights that you dream of as a football supporter. Rangers have had a few. This would certainly be added to it.
As the full-time whistle blows, it's a glory night for Glasgow Rangers. The Europa League finalists of 2 seasons ago were not willing to let their dream of a repeat performance die. They've come back to Seville, scene of their heartache, and they have won the game. They've topped the group. They are into the last 16, having twice led in the first half. It was Kemar Roof off the bench to win the game with 12 minutes remaining. Philippe Clement's unbeaten run as Rangers manager continues, and it finishes Real Betis 2, Rangers 3.
Well, I told you to buckle up for a roller coaster ride. They were in when Seema gave Rangers the perfect start. They were out when Miranda arrowed home. They were in when Dessers nutmegged the keeper. Out when Perez curled home. And they were in when Roof was given the freedom of the Benito Villamarin Stadium to beat Real Betis and send them into the Europa League's last 16. The side 7th in La Liga, beaten for the first time at home since May. Even Jude Bellingham and co at Real Madrid couldn't do that last weekend, and Betis are out. What a night for Philippe Clement's side. Sports Bar is on the way. Rangers fans, how far can you go in this competition? Get your calls in 03717 223344. We'll react with Dean Ashton in a moment, but first, let's get full time at the Amex. Ian Abrahams.
Brighton 1, Marseille 0. Their first venture ever into European football sees Brighton straight into the last 16. They win their group as well, but wow, they left it late. They weren't at their best tonight, but 2 minutes from the end, João Pedro, who was huffing and puffing all night in front of goal, put the ball onto his right foot 12 yards out and picked out the top right-hand corner of the Marseille net. Marseille did hit the post in the second half and the bar in the first half. That doesn't matter now. They go through as well. But for Brighton, it is straight into the last 16. And this fairy tale club continues to write new chapters in their story. Finished here, Brighton 1, Marseille 0.
Straight into the Europa League last 16. Those ties to take place on the 7th and 14th of March. West Ham there as well. They topped their Europa League group. Kudus and Alvarez giving them a 2-0 win over Freiburg at the London Stadium. Chelsea were in action in the Women's Champions League full-time at Stamford Bridge. Joshua Adudoncourt.
Chelsea 0, Häcken 0. Chelsea missed the chance to go top of the group. A frustrating night for MH's side. They created a bundle of chances throughout the game but couldn't find a goal. Best effort falling to Reiter Kaynard, who was denied by Falk in goal after he put it through. Chelsea will have another chance to leapfrog Häcken in Gothenburg next Wednesday. It finished Chelsea 0, Häcken 0.
Liverpool and Aston Villa topped their respective groups in Europe earlier. Liverpool beaten by Union Saint-Gilloise in the Europa League. Villa held by Zrinski in the Conference League and also in the Conference League. Great win for Aberdeen, their first in Europe for a decade, beating Eintracht Frankfurt by 2-0. But let's head back to Dean Ashton for some very quick reaction. What a night. Topsy-turvy, and in the end, Rangers come through. How big a victory is that for them?
Absolutely huge. It's a hell of a victory to go to Real Betis and win 3-2 in the manner that they did. So impressed with Philippe Clement and the way he set his team up. They didn't just sit back in that first half. They gave it a real go, got their rewards with the 2 goals, and then he makes that substitution, which I thought was absolutely vital in Sterling coming on and helping Tavernier, and all of a sudden Miranda was very, very quiet. And in the end, look, it was scrappy. Of course it was the goal from Kemar Roof. They will not care. What a brilliant night for British teams in Europe to get through, and especially Rangers, because they had the hardest task of all.
I thought it was unbelievable. Dean Ashton, Alex Crook, thank you so much for the commentary tonight. We're going to bounce straight along into you guys having your say. 03717 223344. Rangers fans, could you win the Europa League? Could you go all the way to a final once again? West Ham top of your group, and you question David Moyes. Doesn't he deserve a new contract? Brighton, well, listen, you are through as group leaders as well. How great are you loving, how much are you loving this experience of being in Europe? And Villa fans, top of the table, you'll skip the playoff round as well. Will that help your Champions League charge? Liverpool, what do you make of the youngsters? Albeit beaten in Belgium and Aberdeen. First group stage win in Europe for a decade. What does that mean for you guys? So much for us to discuss. You can have your say with Jason Cundy and Dean Saunders right here on Talksport. The number to call 03717 223344. But it has ended with a fantastic night for Rangers. They've gone to Spain and got the job done. It's ended live here on Talksport. Real Betis 2, Rangers 3.